Hello and welcome everybody to the season 23. I'm pretty sure it's season 23 World Series. We're going to be seeing the New Orleans Rougarous taking on the San Antonio Sloths. Super hype about it. I'm going to be hosting tonight, Danny B, with my co-host here, Mike. You want to say hello?
Yes, it is indeed me and Danny B once again. And Danny, I got the house and all of your PBE monies in the settlement. Thank you for that. By way of those bets, how's that 250 batting average for you there, bud?
I believe I did win one of our bets. Can you want to let the audience know which one I won?
Wait, you didn't win either.
We
Oh,
had
you
we
won.
had another bet.
The three. Okay. Yes, I won the personal ones. You won the Swifties one because the Hepcats got messed around by the sim the entire season. Yada yada yada.
Yes, because the State College Swifties finished with a higher record than the Hepcats. But that's not what we're here for today. We're here for some sloths and some Rougarous. Mike actually put together a special presentation for us here, so I'm going to get that queued up for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. And we'll let that take it away.
The March to November starts in March. 14 teams with a new hope. On the way, some will rise, others will fall. Over the months that roll on, there are last rides and new beginnings. And then we go down to 6. Inevitably, those that break hearts.
And a drop third strike, they're going to put him on!
Winning run at the plate!
And Jay Doctor, a home run! The dropped third strike comes back to bite the Scorpions.
May wind up broken themselves.
And the 5, the 4, the 3 to advance to the World Series. The Sloths, the dominant win.
The postseason is pressure, and pressure makes diamonds.
Upon 10th, Khan up now. For San Antonio, he hits a hard one over the left field line, and that's gone. Roberto Khan just won the World Series for San Antonio on the walk-off home run.
Now, only 2 teams stand in each other's way of eternal glory. Will San Antonio continue to swing? Or will New Orleans do this again, but this time for the big prize? The end of the March, the end of season 23 starts now.
And with that, what has been a long road to this point is winding to an end. Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the Season 23 Major League World Series here on the PBE Twitch channel. I am Leatherneck Mike. With me today is Danny B. We will take you through all 7 games of this series should we need to go there, and we may need to go there. 2 teams that had more than 70 wins in this regular season, 2 dominant teams in their respective divisions.
Yep, sorry, I just had to fix my overlays here. I don't know about the rest of you. My heart's going a little bit from that. That was a fantastic hype video you put together for us.
Thank you. And I would like, if we can, Danny, to go look at what's happened in the playoffs so far, and we will let you know how we got here.
Yes, we sure can. I always forget how to do this.
Coverage.
There it is, right at the top, because I'm blind.
So in the first round of these playoffs, we had the Voyagers, the Toros, the Raptors, and the Scorpions. None of those teams are present here in this series because the top seeds took care of everything. The Voyagers took down the Toros in a reverse sweep, and the Raptors broke the hearts of the Scorpions, and they got their own broken in 7 games by the Sloths. The Rougarous swept the Voyagers 4-0, and there may be a new king in the East. The prince is the prince no more. The king may be dead. Meanwhile, the queen of the West still lives on, and it may live on for more years to come. Who knows with how good that Sloths team is. My only question for you, Danny, before we get things rolling with game 1, is you personally analyzing this and looking at this. San Antonio just went to 7 games with Boise, while New Orleans went to 4 games just with New York. Is Boise that good? They played 7 playoff games and still didn't make it here. They won 7 playoff games and still didn't make it here. And is New York that bad, or are we looking at something of a weakened San Antonio team from last year?
Well, I definitely don't think you can say they're weakened. The defending champions are now back at the World Series, and the Sloths are a giant in the PBE. I mean, the franchise has been around forever. Their record speaks for itself. They're pretty much been a staple in the postseason for much of their time in the PBE. And so I think a lot of people are viewing the Rougarous as an underdog here coming into this one. And I think a lot of people were really shocked to see that Rougarous Voyagers series end as quickly as it did. I mean, I knew the Rougarous were good, but they left little doubt in anyone's mind that they were ready to compete in the World Series.
Well, and look, in my own season predictions, I said, New Orleans is going to be a good team. There's going to be 3 teams on top of that Eastern Division that's going to be very good. Cancun, New York, and New Orleans are all going to be very good teams. The question is, which one of them isn't going to underachieve? Which one of them will achieve what they should? And New Orleans, in fact, overachieved, and that is what got them here. San Antonio, I had San Antonio. I didn't have San Antonio as the league MVP, which is probably going to happen, but I didn't have anybody else coming out of that West, and it is in large part because of a fantastic rotation in San Antonio.
Yeah, for sure. And we definitely have some fantastic pitching matchups coming up here.
And let's go see what our first one is.
So I do think we got to advance the day here.
Do we? Oh, yes, we do, because that's Game 7.
So we probably have an off day or two. And here it is.
So Game 1 is not your ace duel. It's going to be Getty and Bobby Daring. San Antonio opting for Rose in Game 3 here. Go 3, and I would assume 6 or 7. But San Antonio playing the long game with the starters. It could be stamina. It could be rest. We'll see how that works out for them. Looks like New Orleans has done the same with Getty. As we look at the team matchup, which we're going to see for the next 2.5 hours or however long it takes us to get through this, the lineup for the San Antonio Sloths occupying the spots across the outfield. Scott Poe in left, MVP candidate John Camden in center field, Acuna Matata in right, and then third to first is going to be Christy Abbott. Bobby Mcdonald, last year's home run champ, nearly got to 30 this year, but just couldn't quite get there. And then at second base, Roberto Khan, your World Series hero last year with the walk-off for San Antonio. Haywood Dinkle, the rookie, I believe rookie anyway, is occupying first base. San Antonio crouched behind the plate for Bobby Daring, the starter.
I was actually going to mention,
go ahead.
Haywood Dinkle definitely on Rookie of the Year watch. He had a great rookie season.
So then the New Orleans Rougarous from left to right across the outfield. Johnny Times 2 gets his start in left here in the World Series. Alondro Geronimo in center. Paulo Di Stefano Jr. here in right. There's a lot of World Series pedigree in that name. Not necessarily the junior part just yet, but in that Di Stefano name here. Naz Hamed occupies third, Richie Bonanza at short, J.R. Cook at second, Gustav Beauregard at first, and then manning the dish is going to be one of the better catchers, the pure catcher as far as the defensive stat. Christopher Bro will occupy the sixth slot and the C. I won't go through the lineup numbers now because those will change, but the players in all likelihood will not. So Bobby Daring and Getty get the ball for Game 1.
And we do have some fun facts courtesy of Johnny Quest, one of our stat team members. Thank you, Johnny. I'll just read a couple of them before this game, and we can sprinkle them in as we go. As we preview the series here, this is the fourth straight year that the division winners will meet in the World Series. And the best team in the regular season has won the last 3 championships, which will give a nod to our home team here. The East Division has only won the title 4 times, with the West winning 18 titles. A lot of that due to, I think, some of the giants that have been in the West. You're looking at the Sloths and Death Valley for a lot of that. And then, we all know this has been a year of firsts for New Orleans. The first time they cleared 70 wins, their first division title. They won their first ever playoff series. and their first ever playoff game for that matter. So they have a shot at one more first here, first championship. And I think without any further ado, I'm going to let you call game one here.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, boys and girls, I should say. This has been one of the, I would say, wilder seasons, at least in my three here. This has probably been the wildest, at least as far as over and underachieving and everything that's gone on. So let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the magic. San Antonio and New Orleans, game one. Let's go. So here's Beauregard, first to lead it off against Bobby Daring. He flies out to start the series. Daring, 12 innings in these playoffs, and now 4.50 ERA. Johnny ×2 sprays this one off into left center gap. That's a double to start the first. Here's J.R. Cook hitting nearly 400 in the playoffs. The 2-1, Cook into right field. This is going to get down, and we've already got a run. It's 1-0, and that's what New Orleans is going to have to do. You have to capitalize on the non-Ryan Rose games. You have to capitalize on any runs you can get off San Antonio pitching. It's more important than normal as Richie Bonanza goes yard. 3-0 here in the first. With J.R. Cook on first base, Bonanza belts one up and hits a homer, and Bobby Daring is in trouble immediately. Gives up 3 hits in the first 4, run of them a bomb. Here's the 3-1 to Slithery Sneck now, who walks, and Daring is staring trouble in the face at 20 pitches. Here's Bro. Actually, we're going to have a steal from Sneck. He's down to second, from first base. Here's the 2-2 to Bro. This is into center field. That is caught, relayed back in. So Sneck will stay at second base. Here's DiStefano, who strikes out. So Daring does not give the start that San Antonio wanted at home. It's 3-0. You don't want to start it anyway, but especially not at home. Here's Camden, who will look to right that wrong or at least get started. And there's a single against Viagetti. 6 innings, 6 earned runs, 1 playoff start and a win, and 4 earned runs in that start. That was the 9th hit given up at the playoffs as Poe now flies out. Here's the 1-2 to McDonald. Back to the pitcher, Getty. Second to first. That is Cook and Beauregard hooking up. Gustave Beauregard, a big home run as part of a monster comeback in Game 4 for New Orleans in that series against the Voyagers, part of a massive second inning that propelled them here. So he comes through defensively. Now Nazhamed strikes out, and here is Geronimo. Hitting .313. One of the keys to New Orleans in these playoffs is they've gotten good hitting up and down that order, not just at 1 through 4 or 3 through 5 or whatever, but at 9 even. Here's Geronimo, who's still second. And San Antonio's given up 2 stolen bases already. Here's Beauregard, the 1-0. This is sprayed off into left, going to get down again. Geronimo was not running on the arm of Scott Poe, and now it's first and third for Johnny ×2. The 2-1 to him, grounder to second, on to first, only going to get the 1, and it's 4-0. So the run does score. Here's J.R. Cook, 3-2 loaded, count to him. He loads this one up into right. Matata's underneath of it. And let's go bottom 2, 4-0 New Orleans. This is the exact start you would have scripted if you're in the front office for the Rougarous, as Tomato Turtle grounds out to short. Now here's Christy Abbott, who gets a base hit into center field. Fielded cleanly, and it's only a single. And here's Dinkum. Rookie of the Year candidates, Danny mentioned, hitting .333 with 3 homers in these playoffs, tied for the team lead, although he will not homer here. He will simply fly out. San Antonio gets on with a single. And here is Roberto Khan. Really likes the World Series, and back him up at third, throw to second, get him out. So let's go top 3. Ahmed play the ball nicely. And we're about to finish a third of this game 1. Here's Bonanza, who gets walked by Daring. And here comes Slithery Sneck. The 1-2 to Sneck. This is into the right center field gap. This is going to get Bonanza to third, if not to the plate. Nope, they're going to hold Bonanza. Second and third for Bro. The 1-1 to Bro, the catcher. This is into center field. Will you run on Camden? Oh, he dropped the ball. John Camden drops the ball. That's an error in center field. And that's a run for New Orleans. It's all going wrong for the Sloths. Now first and third for DiStefano Jr., who strikes out. Here's Hamed. 375 in these playoffs. 0 for 1 on the day. The 1-2 to Hamed into center field. Nice catch by John Camden, but it was a diving one, so that's a run. 6 0 in New Orleans. I don't think anyone in their right mind expected 6 runs, 4 earned off Bobby Daring in 3 innings as Geronimo strikes out. But when we come back to this side of things for New Orleans, we will see a third time through the order start with Beauregard. Meanwhile, Matata just hits for the first time and pops out to the catcher. Getty is locked in as Camden is going to fly out. He's 1 for 2 now. Here's Poe 0 for 1 on the day, and he's going to fly out toward right. A busy outfield, but not busy chasing balls around like for San Antonio. DiStefano gets 2 outs there. And now let's go to the top of the 4th. Beauregard flies out to short. Bobby Mcdonald says, hey, I got this one easy. Daring, Johnny times 2, off into left. Easy 1 for Poe. And now here's J.R. Cook, the red-hot Rougarou, right back up the middle. Nice catch by Roberto Khan. And finally, a clean frame. San Antonio needs to start chipping away if they want to win the ball game or really have any chance of it as Mcdonald goes back up the middle. Hey, that's a good way to start. Here's Turtle, the DH. Turtle lobs this one up towards third base, and that's the out there. Here's Abbott, the 1-1-2. This is on to third. They don't try for 2. It looked like there was an awful lot of time from Hamid there that might have just cost him a run. Haywood Dinkle has a World Series RBI on a single back up the middle. And now here comes San Antonio, only 1 run driven in those 7 games. The 0-1 to Antonio. This is into center field, but caught. Great catch by Geronimo in center. And we go to the 5th. All right, into the 5th now. Bonanza to center field. That is caught easily for out number 1. Here's Slithery Sneck. That is a hot shot right at second. Nice fielding. Khan. Bro, and there's a nice piece of fielding by Camden. He gets 2 of those putouts. And let's go now to the bottom of the 5th. See if Khan, Matata, and Camden can do anything. The 3-2 to Roberto Khan. This is into left. It is gone. So the Sloths get back to within 4 where they were after inning 2. A Roberto Khan World Series home run. Now, where have I seen that before? And now here comes the second AB for Matata, who might have just launched back-to-back. They did. Khan Matata goes back-to-back jacks at 6-3. Getty, a ground ball specialist, not giving up a lot of those, and eventually they're going to get hit hard. Now here's the ice-cold Camden, 3-2 to John. He's going to bounce out to third, and that's a good one for Getty there. Need to just break this homer streak, although he's going to give up what's probably a double to Scott Poe. And San Antonio is looking threatening. 2-2 to Mcdonald. That is back up the middle. It's going to be 6-4. The Sloths have pulled out the Uno reverse card on the Rougarous from the way they won Game 4. Looks like they may be getting the comeback pulled on them here in Game 1 of the World Series with Tomato Turtle strikes out. Here's Abbott. The 1-1, the Christy Abbott, is actually going to be a pass ball there, so it's going to be 2-1. Runner on second is Mcdonald. The 3-1 to Abbott, lifted into center field. Racing underneath of it is Geronimo. And we end the 5th. A 3-run inning for the Sloths, though. 6-4. Let's go top 6. 3-2 to DiStefano. He's going to walk on a pitch inside, down at his knees. It's Dude Manbro in. So Abbott's day is done. 6 runs, 4 earned, and San Antonio gives up the 3rd stolen base of the ball game. Here's the 2-2 to Hamed, who strikes out. And then here's Alejandro, who's 1 for 2, and actually DiStefano's going to steal third, and it's going to go past. A bad throw from San Antonio, who's having a horrific start to the World Series defensively. DiStefano scores from second on a catcher's error. And now Geronimo strikes out, but the bases are clean, and it's just Beauregard here at the top. The lefty facing the lefty Manbro. 2-1, Beauregard into center field over the head of Camden. And this is a double for New Orleans. Now here's the switch hitting Johnny times 2. The 1-2 times 2, and he strikes out. It's 7-4 after the error from behind the plate. Bottom of the sixth, and now it's Hiro Nakamura that's in for the Rougarous. Day is done for Getty. He gave up 4 earned, and Nakamura immediately walks the first 2 batters he sees. 3-2 to Khan. That's a walk. He's walked the first 3. The bases are loaded for Matata with none down, who strikes out. Now here's Camden. You do not want to see Scott Poe, and even worse, you don't want to see him with a bases-loaded walk with 1 out. Rougarou fans, close your eyes. This might get ugly. 3-2 to Poe into center field. Not as bad as it could have been. Good throw in, but not in time. 7-6. But no advance to third, so at least that went your way, and you're glad it did, because that pass ball would have meant the game was tied. Here's the 1-2 to Mcdonald. Bouncer in front of the catcher. Bro jumps up, grabs it, and flings it. 3-1-2 is how the first, second, and third went. 1-3-2 is how the fourth, fifth, and sixth went. That's how these teams got their runs. The one difference is a run in the sixth for New Orleans. As Cook strikes out, here comes Bonanza. The 0-2 to Ritchie. He goes down. So Bonanza, the 2-run homer in that first inning, is silent since. Here's Slithery Sneck, 3-2 from Slim Dugan, who's now in the game. Reliever of the Year candidate, not my pick, but up on that list. Here's Sneck on first base, 1-2 to Bro. He's gone. So good behind the dish, but bad at the plate. Antonio has been good at the plate, but bad behind the dish. We'll see if that plays into the hands as we go on. Here is the retirement tour edition of Ed Barker, who gets an out here in the World Series. Abbott into center field. That is caught easily. And the 3-2 now to Dinkle. Dinkle will get one by. So Haywood Dinkle, former Swiftie legend, as I'm sure my colleague Danny B will point out plenty of times, is now 2 for 3, and a ground out from third to first is how Stan Antonio ends this inning.
There are no former Swifties legend. Once a Swifties legend, you are always a Swifties legend.
Here's Paulo DiStefano Jr., the 1-0 from Slim Dugan, who's still in this ball game. That's a fly out to center. Here's the 0-1 to Hamed. Now with 1 out, it's going to be right at John Camden again, just like the last one. Here's the 2-2 to Geronimo, and Dugan goes through 2 innings clean with 4 strikeouts and only a walk, no hits allowed. 1 run, 6 outs to play with in the hands for San Antonio. Here's Roberto Khan into left. Tie game! Second home run for Khan in the ball game.
I think this one's going to go down to the wire here.
Here's the 1-1 from Barker to Matata. That's back up the middle. And don't forget, this is former Cy Young winner Ed Barker. The 0-1 to John Camden, third, second. Got the turn done around the horn. 5-4-3. 2 outs now. Poe, little dribbler. He is there. Great bare hand attempted play at third, but couldn't get it done. Here's Mcdonald on the hit and run on 3-2, and that's it. We got to go to the top of the 9th. Tied.
Well, it's the right part of the lineup for New Orleans here.
Yes, it is. Beauregard, Times, and Cook. Here is the 0-2. Dugan still in the ball game there. Filling the stopper here, and Gustav strikes out. Here's Johnny Times 2. The 3-1 to him just draws the walk, and let's give J.R. Cook the bat. Although Cook doesn't have a hit since appearance number 1. 3-2, Cook back up the middle, hits into a double play. And now let's go bottom 9. Will New Orleans roll Barker back out there? Yes, they do.
Haywood Dinkle walk-off? Anyone?
Tomato Turtle. The 0-2 to Abbott, that's a strikeout. And here is the red-hot Dinkle. Not as hot as Roberto Khan, 2 slots away. 2-1 to Dinkle, this is back up the middle, that's a single, keeps the inning alive. And now here's Antonio, and this is where you win your MVP award. The 1-1 to Antonio will not win it here. That's a fly ball into center field. Some say it's a regular season award, but you still win it off playoff moments sometimes, let's be honest. We're going to extras in the World Series. This is going to be interesting on those bullpens as Nolan Windsor, the left-hander, takes the ball. Only 3 playoff innings so far and a 27 ERA as he gets started.
I don't believe we have an off day tomorrow either, so this could carry over.
No, we're going back-to-back, and Christopher Bro is going into the seats. That's the first hit for him in 5 tries in this game, and he unknots it at 8-7.
and no one's going to remember those first 4 at-bats. They do not matter anymore.
Here's the 1-1 from Windsor to DiStefano. That's caught. All right. Roberto Khan has 2 home runs in this game. A third would tie it. We will see Khan, Matata, and Camden. Here's Pleasance in to try and shut it down. Roberto Khan strikes out. 1 out. The 3-2 from Pleasance to Matata, fielded by Cook cleanly to Beauregard, and now here's Camden. 3-2 coming from Pleasance to Camden, and he walks. Here's Poe. Double-digit RBIs in the playoffs. Here's the 1-1 to Scott Poe. Fly ball to center field. This is caught by Geronimo, and the New Orleans Rougarous, for the first time in franchise history, not only have a World Series appearance, but a game taken in the World Series. 8-7 your final, but your big story is not on the New Orleans side, it's on the San Antonio side. It's that horrible start for Bobby Daring and that heck of a day for Roberto Khan with 2 home runs.
Yeah, and the balls were really flying tonight. I mean, you can look here, you see the 2-run shot, the solo shots, that 10th inning shot by Bro turning out to be the biggest home run of the game. You usually don't say that about a solo shot, but
yeah, we had Machado, Khan homered twice, Bro, and Bonanza. We had 5 home runs in Game 1 of the World Series, and at least one of these sides is pitching dominant and got here on pitching.
And speaking of that pitching, yeah. I mean, neither starter really ended up having that clean outing. You prefer the 4 earned run of Getty over these, I guess... Daring also only earned 4, but gave up a total of 6. Didn't make it
that's
through that
drop
fifth
John
inning.
Camden ball in center. Yeah.
Yep. Ed Barker getting the blown save and the win. He put 3 innings of work in and did pretty well for himself.
But he still has the blown save and the win, so what do you do? What do you do if you're the manager sitting in the dugout? Are you mad at Ed Barker, or are you pleased with Ed Barker?
You just won your first ever World Series game. I think you're pleased with pretty much every person on the roster. Maybe
and look, here is the larger Game 1 point, right? Here is the larger Game 1 point. You just took a game on the road from one of the best home teams in baseball. Not only that, Dugan just threw 43 pitches. Manbro just threw 35 pitches. Barker just threw 43 and 38 out of Nakamura. You're going to have the back end of that bullpen come out in Game 2 that neither one of these two wanted to see. If in the ideal worlds for both managers, Daring pitches 6, Manbro or Dugan locks it down from there. Getty pitches 6, Nakamura or Barker locks it down from there. We went into extras, both sides threw 40 pitches. They're either going to be tired for the next game, or we're going to have to see somebody else throw innings. So chasing the next starter early is who's going to win the game, and that might impact Game 3 as well.
And I guess we'll throw it over, see if there's any roster changes.
Juosu wants to see stamina for Rose and Rainier, and Rougarous are good. And why wouldn't you be after you won a game?
Yeah, let it ride. We're looking at who? We're looking at Rose. I guess he's
Rose and John
to
Rainier.
pitch.
We have Rainier's next.
So Ryan Rose is sitting at 28% exhausted.
Did you advance today?
No, I guess I should do that first, huh?
Do that first.
Yeah, good call, because he will not be 28% exhausted in a second. So Ryan Rose now, he's at 59% slightly tired. John Rainier is 100% totally rested. And we definitely also want to check. It looks like the starters here are Coco Mcqueen and John Rainier, so we want to make sure that the sim isn't pulling a fast one on us. Make sure we got the right starters here. And I think we had talked about doing a little gambling action here for your channel points. We were looking at hits 19.5, so I don't know if Hamas wants to set that up. We can take some channel points on hits 19.5 over under. I can. I just don't know how. It's
Oh.
like slash bet.
Okay. Sloths want Rainer, so we're good there. I'm checking with. Yes. Okay. All right, we're good with starters, and I think we're good with lineups because I don't see anything. So take game 2, my friend.
Can do.
Time for some water.
I'm gonna pull up our fun stats here. Hopefully, Hummus can get that bet set up. Prediction is live, perfect. So you can bet your channel points over under 19.5 hits. That's going to be combined between the two teams. And while you guys consider your over unders, let me pull up some more of those handy dandy stats courtesy of Johnny Quest. And so if New Orleans wins this championship, they're going to tie Cancun's record for being the quickest expansion team to win a title, winning their title in their 6th season of existence. And starting off 1-0, they're on the way. If the Rougarous win this one, it's going to be the 8th franchise in the PBE to win a title on the biggest stage here. And those Rougarous finished 3rd this season in runs scored among all the teams. Their bats showed up scoring 25 runs in just 4 games against New York in that championship series. The league championship series that I'm trying to do math in my head here. What's that? 6 runs a game? Just about. The NOLA bullpen should get some special recognition for their semifinals win. They allowed just 2 earned runs in their combined 11 1/3 innings. So that bullpen is rock solid, and perhaps that bullpen being so good helped them win in the extras here. And I think our prediction has expired. I think we've given it the full minute, so I'm going to go ahead and call game 2 here. Not much to talk about in the matchups here. We've seen it all. Looks like, or maybe the lineups are slightly different versus the left-handed pitcher, because I don't see Haywood Dinkley, must be platooning. But it's going to be Coco Mcqueen taking on John Rainier. Yeah, Joseph's confirming lineups are different, so Sonberg is going to be in for the hot-hitting Rookie of the Year candidate. We got a 3.05 ERA from the NOLA starter, Coco Mcqueen. On the Sloth side of things, we're looking at a 3.45 ERA, 27.
100!
Oh.
We hit 100!
Hey, we did it! We hit 100! I should have had like a confetti emoji ready, but that means Hummus owes us some raffle.
I saw it. I saw the 100. It's down to 93 now, but I saw the 100.
Yeah, someone get the screenshot.
Clip it. Screenshot it.
And I guess if we got 100, we should give the people what they want. Let's get into this. Beauregard is going to lead us off here against Rainier, and he'll hit that one behind the plate. Catcher's able to get a glove on it for the first out. Here's Johnny ×2. He's going to strike out. And J.R. Cook, he'll hit that on the ground to the second baseman. That's a ground out. So 1-2-3 inning for John Rainier. Stan Antonio will now stand in for the Sloths, and he hits that past the third baseman. So there goes the no-hitter. He's going for 2, and he'll get 2. Lead-off double for Stan Antonio. John Camden in now. He's going to hit that into left, and that is deep, and that is gone. No chance of reeling that one in. This is a total flip of our game from yesterday, but Camden will get the 2 RBIs, bringing himself and Stan Antonio home. And it's not going to get any easier here for Coco Mcqueen with the hot-hitting Scott Poe batting .353 next up, but he will not make good contact on that one, grounded softly. Here's Bobby Mcdonald, so he's settling after the home run. 2 outs. Sandberg now, the final batter of the first inning, if they can get him out, but they can't, so it's going to be up to Turtle with a runner on first. And that's a good sound. Turtle sends that back up the middle, and it's out of the park. He went to the deepest part of the park, and he went yard. 452 feet. That was a laser off his bat, and it is now 4-0 Sarasota. I'm sorry, San Antonio. Excuse me, I was looking at the SA. San Antonio, not Sarasota, as now we have a double from Matata. Khan will now bat with a runner in scoring position, and this one was well hit but lined right to the right fielder. 8 batters Coco Mcqueen had to pitch to in this first inning, 4 of them crossing the plate. The New Orleans bats now have their work cut out for them as Bonanza grounds out. Slithery Sneck, he'll get the first hit for New Orleans, so the no-hit watch is over for both teams. Christopher Brew will have to wait as Sneck slithers his way over to second for a successful stolen base. Bro is on first. I believe that is steal a base, steal a taco. Hummuscod now owes everyone in the league a taco. Feel free to message him directly to claim as the New Orleans Rougarous put their first run across the plate. DiStefano, he's batting .095 in this postseason, but he just got his first RBI of the World Series. He'll take it as Naz Hamed gets the next hit. And there was a slide there to keep that ball from getting past and letting that extra runner score, but it is still an RBI for Hamed. Geronimo now. And he'll strike out. So first time through the lineup for the Rougarous, they're able to put 3 hits and 2 runs on the board. And Beauregard will strike out, leaving a runner stranded at first and third. Here's Christy Abbott, and he'll strike out. So the first time around for the Sloths, we're looking at 4 hits, 4 runs, very economical. Here's Stan Antonio again. He'll take a walk. McQueen not wanting anything to do with him, although last time he let Stan Antonio on, he reached, and it looks like it might happen again. That's into the left field corner. Looks like they'll hold him at second and third. No, they won't. He blows the stop sign past the third base coach, and turns out it was the right decision as he scores. Padding that lead up to 3 now for the Sloths. As Scott Poe hits us into right field, should be good enough for a little sack action. Gets Camden over to third for Mcdonald with 2 outs, and a passed ball. I was going to say the runner on third usually doesn't matter too much with 2 outs, but that is the exact situation where that's now huge. I'm sorry?
Enough? That play was enough for what kind of action?
The runner to score.
Oh.
Say the sack fly.
I heard something else.
Nope. As Johnny Times 2 strikes out. Sack action. In hindsight, yes. As the left-handed J.R. Cook sends that into right field. And Bonanza will strike out. So Rainier's doing well here, only giving up the 2 through 3 frames now. Sandberg back in, he'll strike out. And Turtle will hit that to the second baseman. There's a ground out. And here's Matata, right fielder. He'll go to left field with this one, and I didn't think that one was going to go, but it does. Just over the wall there in left field, 384 feet. It snuck out, and there's another run up for the Sloths. Khan now will follow him up, and he'll get a single into right. Third baseman Christy Abbott will be swinging it right-handed here, and that should fall. No, diving play from the right fielder. Paulo DiStefano Jr. lays out and makes the save there. He had that RBI earlier as well. Here's Slithery Sneck. That one's popped up in foul territory. Bro in, hits on the ground to second for now. And DiStefano in again. Oh, and it's over the center fielder. He thought he could jump up and grab that one, but he couldn't. It rolls all the way to the wall, and he has to get it in. Good job keeping him just to 2 on that. Naz Hamed now on first, so 2 runners on for Geronimo. And that's softly hit, and he beats it out. So the bases are juiced. The juices are based. Beauregard coming in with 2 outs, and the bases loaded, and he hits it right to the first baseman, who will take it for the unassisted play at first base.
I do want to say between the innings, by the way, what I say before this game, I said get the starter out. You're going to win the game. You might win game 3-2. Salachi is already in.
That's a good point. That Kyle came in relief here. That mean mug. And he's dealing. He's angry. He's mad. He doesn't want his team to be losing, and he's on the hook for a win here if his team can come through and earn the runs to put them in the win column. Here's J.R. Cook on the ground to first. And that one's into the left field corner. Bonanza's going to reach second easily on that. Shortstops are usually quick, and he showed off his speed there as Slithery Sneck, as that will be an out at first base. The DH hitting very well, definitely earning his keep, but maybe not on that play. Here's Mcdonald as they look to just keep padding on. 5 runs, we saw it in the first game. 5 runs is not a safe lead, not at all, as Sandberg strikes out. Turtle in. On the ground, past the shortstop, he'll reach first. Here's Matata, and that one's sent back up the middle. Shallow, but high enough that the center fielder has enough time to come in on it. And it'll be back to Nola. Here's Bro. Catcher. Shortstop going back on it. Good range on that play. Here's DiStefano. To the second baseman. On the edge of the dirt there, he's out. And Naz Hamed to the other side of the infield. Shortstop was busy there, getting 2 of those outs in that inning. Here's Roberto Khan. And he'll send that to short. Where if we heard that before, here's Christy Abbott. And that was a good sound hit into right field, but caught by the right fielder. Stan Antonio, he'll fly that one as well. The second baseman going back. I thought the right fielder might call him off there. Good thing they didn't collide, as that's the third out. Geronimo will strike out. Looks like we got Billy Greer in now for the Sloths. Looking to bridge this middle of the game to get to the end, and that's into the left field gap. Beauregard on second. We've had a few doubles this game. Johnny ×2 now is a runner in scoring position, but he'll strike out. Cook has a chance to move him along too, and I think he will. This should be a run easily. It might be a double of his own as the left fielder breaks the fourth wall, heads into the outfield. I'm not sure where he went. I'm not sure where the ball is. Oh, there it is. Ball's coming in. Good throw, and it speeds up on the ground. Yeah, we are already at, 16 hits this game? It definitely looks like the over is going to have it, although you never know, as the Rugerers get another hit, and now they're within 3 runs. Putting a crooked number up in the 7th here. RBI from Slithery Sneck. He's on first now, and here's Bro. Soft little tapper. Not able to beat that one out. But it is now a save situation if a new closer comes in. As James Pleasant does come in. For Nola, not a save situation for him. Scott Poe batting now. It hits him. Maybe some frustration there. I don't think he was trying to hit him on an 0-2 count. Usually, you don't do that in the World Series, and then a double play ball. So, if it was intentional, it worked out there. Putting the slow runner on first.
I'm not really sure you're hitting somebody to get to Bobby Mcdonald. I don't know about that one.
Probably not, especially not on a 0-2 count, like I said. But you got to add some flavor to the game, right? As Hamed strikes out looking. And here's Geronimo. Might be able to beat this one out. Third baseman has it, and he is able to beat that one out. So there's a little infield single, outran the white rabbit, like they say, and Beauregard will take a walk now. So runner in scoring position, tying run at the plate, Johnny ×2. And
by the way,
walk.
Esteban Rodriguez Jr. here.
Another Rookie of the Year candidate here on the Sloths. As that one, he gets the ground out there. Looked like he might be in trouble, but he's able to get out of it cleanly.
New Orleans loaded the bases twice in this game, did nothing with either time.
And yeah, if they do end up losing this one, I mean, they are winning in the hit column. We are at 18, by the way, so one more hit. Or I guess, no, we went to 19.
2 more.
19.5, excuse me. And that's not going to do it. That's into right field. Here's Matata. Into center. I think this one will be caught as well. So the unders are alive. There's still a chance.
The bettors are terrified.
Yeah, I guess because if New Orleans doesn't get the lead right here, the game's over. So they're going to need at least 2 hits. That's not it. I don't think that's going to be it either. On the ground is short from Sneck, and Bro is now the last hope. And he'll strike out. So the unders win it. The Sloths win it. Esteban Rodriguez Jr. going to come out of this one with a save, if I remember when he came in correctly.
Mm-hmm.
10 hits to 8. The Sloths had an error, but it did not prove costly as they are able to win 7-4. A lot of action right here. San Antonio pretty much rode those 3 innings to victory, putting up all 7. As we look down our batting lineup here, it's a pretty good team effort for San Antonio. Multi-hit games, Camden, Turtle. 3 RBIs from Camden, as we also had some multi-hit games for Geronimo, DeStefano, and Sneck. But we'll look down at the pitching, and these premier pitching matchups have just not been what I was promised. 2.2 innings pitched, 7 earned runs. That's one you're going to beat yourself up over, especially on the greatest stage of the World Series here. Although we should say Salchicha and Pleasance did come out, and they were clean, scoreless through their 5 1/3 inning. Meanwhile, Rainier, 2 earned runs over 5.2 innings pitched. That's a good outing. Greer gave up 2, one of those earned. And yeah, Esteban Rodriguez Jr., he gave up a hit, he gave up 2 walks, but he got the save. 1.1 innings. John Camden. Nice to see the rookies contributing here to the Sloths campaign. And I believe now we're going to get on the road and head down to New Orleans, as we will leave the treehouse, as it is called.
Folks, pack up the RVs and grab your beads. We're headed to Mardi Gras country.
I'm going to advance the day here. Yep, we're on the road
Sloths
today.
would like to make sure that for some silly reason, Ryan Rose doesn't have no stamina. So just a quick check. And Brugaroos are standing right where they are.
Just going to update our score here. So we do have Ryan Rose and McDougal slated to pitch this one, according to the sim. Sloths want to check Ryan Rose. He's at 98%, so he's not at 100, but I suspect 98 will be good enough that they'll want to hold him. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. And I guess we said the Rougarous are staying pat. No changes. McDougal starting. Let me get back to the scores here. McDougal is starting. And those of you who came for a best of 7, I got news. It's not a best of 7 anymore. We're looking at the best of 5 here. First team to 3 wins, three additional wins at this point. It's going to be the team that walks away.
Is the humorous god going to set up a bet?
That's a good question. He's good at that. If you want to throw something in the chat, Hummus, I'll echo it for those who are listening and not reading.
How about over? Let's see. What's the what are the first 2 scores? The first 2 games? I think the average runs is like 14. So how about over under like 12.5 runs?
That might be good. Or like 4.5 home runs, I think is about where we're at in the over under. 4.5, yeah, 5.5.
Yeah, over and under maybe 12.5 runs. It's about the average of what we've done so far.
It's the over.
Oh, here
under.
It is. Let's see what he did.
Win channel points if you make the correct prediction.
This is like the little things that you play 20 questions with as a kid. What is it?
It's how many home runs? Over under 2.5. So I think the overs have it.
Oh no! You gotta 2.5 home runs in a baseball game. You gotta get on board with me. You gotta pound the unders here.
Well, I suspect the unders will have a lot to gain here if it does end up under. And I guess we do have Ryan Rose on the mound here for the Sloths. It is probably one of the more lopsided pitching matchups we'll see, as they did elect to have Ryan Rose pitching third. He's got the 80 overall to the 64 of McDougal.
Hey, by the way, betting-wise, Danny, Casey Phillip pointed this out in the chat there. Not in the treehouse. New ballpark.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you get new stadium dimensions. I'm actually not familiar with the Rougarous.
It's the Polo Grounds.
Yes, I mean, yes, they're. I know they're in the Polo Grounds, but I was going to say I'm not familiar
Oh.
with their actual park factors. You know,
Oh, really? It doesn't
what
just
they
play
have
like the Polo Grounds?
cranked up. No, everyone sets their own, average and doubles and home runs and stuff.
Oh, I actually didn't know it wouldn't just play like the Polo Grounds.
C does it will confirm they are lefty favored. I want to say the Sloths are too, so should be pretty similar parks here. I'll pull up one or two more fun facts here. And then we'll get right into it. J.R. Cook was the MVP for the Rougarous' first playoff series win, hitting .385 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. If he has 2 home runs in this game, the unders will be quite upset. The Sloths returned to the championship. They won their 5th title last year, and 10 times in the history of the PBE has a champion returned and gone on to win. So it's a pretty common occurrence for the defender to get the ring right back, I suppose. So if last year was their 5th, we can say this year is the if they do win, it'll be their 6th championship as a franchise, for second most of all time.
Juosu Jordan confirmed?
There you have it. And I think that's good. Did you want me to call this one, or do you want to take it?
Go ahead and take game 3, my friend.
All right, I'm gonna gulp some water here really quick.
Gulp.
Probably should have muted myself. Hope you guys couldn't hear that. And away we go. So McDougal's going to be pitching here. John Camden, center fielder. He's going to put that into center field, and there goes the no-hitter. Double, triple. He's going for 3. He'll slide in there. Well safe. So all Scott Poe has to do here is get it into the outfield, which he clearly has done. It's going to be caught, and it's going to be good for a run. He is called safe, so that was there goes the shutout very quickly. Here's Mcdonald, and he'll strike out. 2 outs now for Turtle, batting .324 from the left side, and he'll take a walk on over to first. Christy Abbott's been cold, and he'll strike out looking. That's not going to help that much. Similar to last game, the Rougarous are going to need to chase out the starter here. Ryan Rose is too good to let him go 5, 6, 7 innings. Ideally, you want to get him out as early as 5, earlier if you can, and a walk will help with that, Johnny times 2. The hot-hitting Cook now, but will have a stolen base to deal with first, and he was able to avoid the tag. Don't want to give up runners this early. And Cook, that's going to be in the right field gap, and I think we're going to have a tie game, as there goes the no-hitter here, and there goes the shutout. As we have a double from J.R. Cook, RBI double. Bonanza now with a batter in scoring position and just 1 out. He'll take a walk. Makes sense to set up the double play, but maybe not if you look at Slithery Snack batting .364, and a loud sound off the bat there, but it is played well by the center fielder. It was hit pretty much right to him for the out, and Burrow will hit it to the first baseman for a 3 unassisted.
Now, all 3 games we got runs in the first inning, and also New Orleans continues to leave a lot of guys on base.
Oh, well hit by Haywood Dinkle, line right to the left fielder. Not as well hit by Antonio, and that will be an out as well. And here's Roberto Khan on the ground to third. So McDougal settling after giving up the 1 run. He's able to carve his way through the bottom of the Sloths lineup. DeStefano Jr. in now. Strikeout. Hamed. A single into center field. Geronimo now with a chance to keep him moving. He'll strike out. So the first time through the lineup, we're looking at 2 hits and a run for New Orleans. And that's going to be an out as well, unless he throws it away. He does not. So Beauregard not able to reach. And we're into the 3rd inning now. Here's Matata. He'll hit that on the ground to second. And their first time through the lineup, they're looking at just the 1 hit and the 1 run. As that's on the ground to right. And a walk there from Scott Poe, who has the lone RBI for the Sloths. That's hit into right field, and that will fall on the warning track. It's good for a double. He thinks about going for 3, but decides against it, hoping he maybe just made the second baseman there think twice about where he had to throw that, buy the runner a little time to make it there safely. As Turtle grounds out, but not before the Sloths are able to put one more run up on the board. Here's Johnny times 2. We're still at 0 home runs, by the way. Cook in now. And he's going to ground to the second baseman, Bonanza. And that's into the right field corner. That should be good for 1. It should be good for 2. It'll be a stand-up double there. As Ryan Rose is now pitching to Slither's neck. That's a fly out on the warning track for him. But if you look at the stamina of Ryan Rose, they're doing a good job of eating away at it. He's just through his 3rd frame and already approaching the halfway mark as Christy Abbott strikes out. McDougall, you can see, has a little more stamina. Just coming into his 4th frame of work. Popped up. Shortstop going back, and caught it. And Stan Antonio, he's going to take a walk. Roberto Khan, that's into the left field gap. Could it be good enough for an RBI? We'll see if he rounds the bag here. He does, and the shortstop doesn't even throw it, so it'll be good for an RBI double. Matata with a runner in scoring position. Into shallow left, and caught. So the Sloths are doing a good job. You know, just get him on, get him over, get a run. Get him on, get him over, get a run. One at a time through these 4 frames. Here's Bro. Caught there. DiStefano. Past the diving shortstop. He'll stay on first. Naz Hamed now. And it'll be a stolen base attempt. So Screwball was the pitch, so he picked a good one to run on. And made his way over to second. That's going to be caught. We'll see if he tests that to get over to third. He doesn't with 2 outs. Geronimo. And that's going to be on the ground in right field. It should be good for a run. We'll call that a run-scoring single from Geronimo. So now we have a 2-3 ball game. Still waiting for that first home run. One here would swing the lead as Beauregard goes for a stolen base. New Orleans, they do like to grab their bases when they can. As Beauregard hits that very softly and is thrown out by the good arm of the catcher. Old Stan Antonio. And here's Camden, he'll strike out. McDougall approaching the halfway of his fatigue now. Scott Poe, he'll strike out looking. One more strikeout and he'll have the side, but that's not going to be a strikeout. That's going to be a single here for Mcdonald. Turtle in now. He'll take a walk. Maybe the hit and run was on there, but I guess with a full count and 2 outs, of course it was. And Christy Abbott will strike out, so he was able to strike out 3 in the frame. Took him a couple extra batters to do it. Oh, I guess that's Salchicha in, so he wasn't. But Salchicha comes out, gets the strikeout, keeps him locked down. As Ryan Rose gives up another single here to Johnny times 2. Jay Cook, they'll have a stolen base attempt, and I think he's out. Yes, he was tagged there by the shortstop, making the play.
And
good
finally,
there.
San Antonio throws somebody out.
Yes, it took a while. Cook now will take a walk, so that's costly because it looks like he would have reached second anyway. And that one might be our first home run of the game. It is 386 feet. The lead will change hands. It's the first lead of this game for New Orleans as they're going to be up 4-3 on the 2-run shot of the shortstop Bonanza. And the overs are probably breathing a sigh of relief as we have one home run
worried
on the board. Ground out there for Sneck. Here's Bro. He'll ground out as well. So Ryan Rose able to get through 5 innings, giving up 4. Haywood Dinkle now as Salchicha stays on the mound in relief. Getting strikeout. Here's Roberto Khan. And that's hit on the ground to third. Oh, but bobbled there. He's not even going to make the throw. So he'll reach on an error. Here's Matata. Into the right field gap. It's good for 1 base. It's good for 2 base. It might be also good for an RBI. He's running and no throw from the second baseman there. So we're all tied up now in the top of the 6th for a piece as Camden strikes out. So they're racking up the strikeouts over there on the Rougarou side of things. But not quite quick enough. DiStefano Jr. will look to get the lead back, and a leadoff walk is a good way to start. Got a pitch out of the stretch now. Here's Naz Hamed, and that looks like it's going to fall. Find some outfield grass. The runner did have to hold up, so it's just going to be first and second here for Geronimo on the ground to second baseman. They'll try and turn 2, and they will turn 2. The old 4-6-3 double play, as that ground ball is not going to be good enough for an RBI. And will stay standing here. Ryan Rose now through 6 innings of tie game baseball. Scott Poe striking out, Ed Barker in relief.
And more runners left on base for New Orleans.
Yes, indeed. Here's Mcdonald. He'll strike out. Turtle on the ground to second. It seems like they're averaging 2 strikeouts a frame here for New Orleans. I did not know you could hide the cursor in OBS. I'll look into that PM. As that's on the ground, here's Bonanza. On the ground as well, looked like some kind of maybe a swinging bunt there as he beats out that play, safe on first. Slythersneck will look to move him along, and he'll strike out. So we're now through 7 here. Slim Dugan came on to relieve Ryan Rose, finally in that 7th frame.
Dugan has 21 strikeouts in 11 innings in the playoffs.
Yeah, so that's good for 2 a frame as well, as that's going to find some outfield grass. Haywood Dinkle on. Sorry, worrying about his channel point monies, as Stan Antonio takes a walk, and Roberto Khan strikes out. There is still time to see some dingers. Matata looked like he was trying to hit a dinger, just missed the ball a little bit there. Christopher Bruin now. That ball looked like it was batted out of the air by the first baseman. And DiStefano will reach first base here on a 3-1 count. Turned into a walk. Striking out on 3 pitches is Naz Hamed. Here's Geronimo. And he'll take a walk. Slim Dugan might be done here. No, he won't be. He'll get the strikeout of Beauregard. I can't imagine he's coming back out, though, but good to see him able to finish the frame. We're still all tied here. I believe this is the way that NOLA won their first game, was with a shot. I guess that was the top of the 10th, not the top of the 9th. As Camden lines out into left, Poe lines out into right, and Mcdonald will find a little bloop single. Went right back up the middle with it. Nobody was able to reach that one in time. And a passed ball, wild pitch they're calling it, will allow McDonald to get into scoring position for Turtle. On a 1-1 count, he hits it to the third baseman, ground out, and that'll do it. So walk off watch for the Rougarous. As yes, Slim Dugan did come back out. Maybe not the best managerial decision, but he did just get a strikeout. So
look who's hitting third in this inning.
As Windsor comes on and gets a strikeout of his own. Bonanza in now, and that one's hit off the wall. I thought it might be a home run, but it didn't quite have the distance. So any swing now could end the game, as that one's into right field. The right fielder tracks it down, though. It's caught. So we are headed into extras. Can the Sloths replicate New Orleans' win from Game 1 by putting up a run here? That's not how they want to start it off. Line out to the shortstop. Here's Haywood Dinkle, strikeout, and Stan Antonio. Strikeout. So line out, strikeout, strikeout. And James Pleasance did not beam anyone that time. He just had a good, clean inning.
And every Walgreens in a 100-mile radius has sold out of Tums.
As Bro does a strikeout of his own. Windsor still on the mound here for the Sloths. Hit on the ground by DiStefano to the shortstop. Here's Naz Hamed. And that's into right field. And that's caught. So we'll head into the 11th frame here, as we remain tied at 4-all. Roberto Khan, 3-1 count. He'll be walked. Kuna Matata, full count. He'll strike out looking. Camden on the ground, and I thought they would have a shot at 2, but they don't get it. 2 outs, runner on first for Scott Poe, and he's going to try a stolen base of his own. The go-ahead run is in scoring position. Camden takes second. But Poe strikes out. Swinging at least on a full count there. Pleasance, I don't think, will come back out. As Nolan Windsor does come back out, that's on the ground to second base for Geronimo. Back to the top of the lineup in Beauregard. And the top of the lineup puts a loud sound deep into right field, but it is caught. Johnny Times2, former commissioner, PBE legend on the ground into right field. He's going to be good for a double. He might keep going. He is. Is going to be a triple, or is he out? Oh, tried to stretch a double and is tagged out to end the bottom of the 11th.
Matata took a terrible angle to the ball in the corner and then gunned it to Mcdonald.
Out made up for her right away here as Mcdonald strikes out. Here's Turtle. Strikeout as Hiro Nakamura is our pitcher. Christy Abbott on the ground to first. Bottom of the 12th inning. Drop third strike produces an out. The walk to Bonanza puts a runner on first, and there'll be a pitching change. Here's the rookie, Esteban Rodriguez Jr. He'll walk the first batter he faced. He was wild in his last appearance, but was able to get the job done. Maybe not here, though. This could be an RBI. No. Bases juiced. 1 out. Walk-off watch. Strikeout. So it's going to take a hit now. A hit or an error, I suppose. Maybe a passed ball, but that's hit into center. Oh, and it's caught by the center fielder. So just like his last outing, Esteban Rodriguez, he's wild. He lets them reach, but then he locks it down without allowing any damage. Haywood Dinkle from one rookie to another. He reaches first. Stan Antonio. That's in the sky, center field. That'll be caught. Roberto Khan into center field. Oh, and he lays out for it. What a catch by Geronimo. He must have yelled Geronimo as he caught that one, as Matata strikes out.
Okay, stop it real quick and hit the info button. Hit the info button and get the teams, like what they have left in the bullpen up. Because it'll show like rest and starters. It's on your bottom here.
It's on my bottom here.
No, on the bottom, on the top. On the bottom of the top row, like VH, and then there's the dude, the I in the middle. No, the I, right by your cursor, Danny. There's a circle and an I.
Oh.
And then there's available and rested relievers here on this. Thank you to Casey Colby for the suggestion, by the way. Very, very good idea.
Both teams having 2 available. Maybe we just put this here where we normally have the out-of-town.
Mm-hmm.
There's like an advanced... We do the pitch location, too, if we want to go crazy. Oops. I just want one of these. We'll just up our game here a little bit in the middle of this very close game. Let the suspension build. And with that, Esteban Rodriguez Jr. going to deliver the pitch to Geronimo. Here it is. 2-2 count, and that'll be a single into center field. Delivering now to Beauregard. Chance for 2. If I were Rodriguez
all
Jr.
the time on planet Earth.
I know. If I were Rodriguez Jr., I would be absolutely furious. As Beauregard steals a base and is now in scoring position because they couldn't pull off the double play. But he'll look the runner back there and get the out at first. And that's on the ground, and he's going to round third, and I think this is going to be our ball game, ladies and gentlemen. J.R. Cook, walk-off double, bringing Beauregard home. They could have had him on the double play, but decided against it.
Oh, that lack of a double play is going to be a problem if the Sloths lose this series.
And in the bottom of the 13th inning, the Rougarous walk it off. 14 hits to 8. And even in those 13 innings, remind me, how many home runs were hit?
1.
1 single home run. That's correct, Thomas God. You can give the unders their money. Sorry.
Hit the unders, baby.
Sorry. There goes all your channel points. As we look at our batters here, it's probably going to be a Mcdonald player of the game, maybe 3 for 6, just 1 RBI.
7 times.
Bonanza going 4 for 4 with 2 walks and 2 RBIs.
6 for 6 in at bats in a World Series game. Beauregard, this is ridiculous. This is a World Series game, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we had a game go 13 innings in the World Series, and by the way, San Antonio struck out 20 times as a team. The only guy who didn't strike out more than once. The only two is Tomato Turtle and Roberto Khan, and they still were within a run.
Oh, and then yeah, he went 4-4 with 2 walks against no one other than Ryan Rose, who did manage to go 6 innings, gave up 4, and only got 2 strikeouts the whole time. So that's an anomaly for Ryan Rose. As we look to the decisions, it was Esteban Rodriguez Jr. who gave up the walk-off double. Nakamura will take the win in relief, no earned. Richie Bonanza getting the player of the game for that 4-4.
Now, if you look at the interesting thing as relates to Game 4, sorry to cut you off there, my bad. The interesting thing as relates to Game 4 here is if you paid attention, Ed Barker's stamina is on the out-of-the-park equivalent of, Coach, my arm's going to fall off. So it's going to be interesting to see if we see any more Ed Barker, at least for Game 4. I'm not saying for the rest of the series, I'm just saying Game 4, Ed Barker is probably not available because his shoulder doesn't work. So, and he's an old man, lest we forget. So, yeah, getting grinded into dust on his retirement tour is probably not what New Orleans envisioned. So, hopefully, if you're in New Orleans, you see Nakamura come out first instead of poor Ed Barker. Although then again, he's only with you for a season, so I guess you squeeze every bit of juice out of what's left of his arm. That could be one idea. San Antonio, by the way, is now 500 in the playoffs. They are only 5-5. They are down 2-1 in the series as we go to Daring Getty Game 4.
And I did get the confirmation from Eldorian. Getty should be starting, no changes. I'll see what the sloths have to say. I imagine they want to look at their stamina. They usually do, so I'll preempt that here.
Joseph says all good.
Bobby Daring at 100%, so that'll be all good.
All right. Are you guys ready for Game 4? We've had 2 extra inning games. One game that had 7 home runs that went to extra innings. And then one game that went to about 150 runs that San Antonio won in Game 2. So both bullpens are exhausted. So chasing the starter is even more critical here in Game 4. And Hummus, do we have a bet before I launch us in? Before I beam us up to New Orleans?
And I would give you a suggestion, but clearly I was thinking 3.5, 4.5 for the over-under on the home runs, so clearly I know nothing.
I still say 12.5 runs. I think that's maybe 9.5 actually.
At this point, you could do like
12.
30 strikeouts in the game.
Actually, yeah. Because we did hit exactly 30.
22.5 is probably better. There is a prediction up. Let me see what it is. How many errors will occur in the game?
Errors. We have had, I think, 2 in every game.
No, there was a game with only 1, for sure.
So, we've hit the over in 2 of them. So, I'm gonna hammer the under, I think. Oh, I already picked over. Well, whatever.
Must be nice not being a mod. I just have to sit here with my, thousands and thousands of channel points and do nothing with them.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's go with the caster's curse here. Let's hammer this over.
Actually, I can do something with my channel points. Hashtag Jody for GG, Gold Glove, Swifty's Legend. I think voting on that closes in about 5 hours, so please, if you are eligible to vote for awards and you have not yet, please get those in. So important to do.
I did mine today because I thought I was going to forget.
Yep.
I was like, oh, I must do this. It expires tomorrow. Did you vote Jody for GG?
You're allowed to talk about your votes, right?
Oh, we're not?
I think you are.
If we're not, then I'm in trouble.
Let's just say I'm spamming Jody for GG in the chat, so
okay.
I'll let you take that however you would like. And with that, I'll let you call this game.
All right, Game 4 at Full Moon Stadium. The Rougarous leading 2-1 over the Sloths. If you had that on your 2020 bingo card and transferred it over to 2021, and I guess you might have a bingo. And also, by the way, I do want to make an interesting point. This is the New Orleans team.
It is, yep.
Were they around for last year's Mardi Gras season?
I mean,
Because
they must have been.
Mardi Gras was 4 days ago. And we're in Mardi Gras season, and the Rougarous are in real life, and the Rougarous are in the World Series.
You celebrate on the front end, then you can celebrate on the back end if they can catch a couple more of these wins here.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, interesting. I wonder if every year around every real life year.
I think your mic just came unplugged. Hopefully Mike returns to us. Or I'm going to need some more water.
Hello, hello.
There you are.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I lost the microphone as I was moving locations.
I'm going to press the button if you're ready.
I had to change socially distant broadcast location. All right, let's go. Game 4. Getty versus Daring, as I am now set. Here's via Getty. The 1-1 to John Camden is a bouncer to third, on to first. There's the out. Here's Scott Poe. And the 0-0 to him is a pop out to the catcher with ball physics that don't really exist. And Bobby Mcdonald hits a single into right. Here's the 2-2 to Tomato Turtle, and that is a strikeout. Left with not tomato on his face, but egg on his face, striking out at 2-2. And here is Beauregard to lead it off against Bobby Daring, who got chased out very early in Game 1 and started this trend of starters getting beaten up very, very early. Johnny ×2. This is into the gap in left center field. This is going to be a double as it sticks itself into the barrier under the wall. No, that's not 2. That's 3. Johnny ×2 says, actually, I'm going to go to ×3 and gets a double. And now J.R. Cook, who just walked off the last game, keeps our scoring in the first inning streak alive. All 4 games we've had a run in the first inning. J.R. Cook gets a run driven in here, and just like in the last game, San Antonio decides not to turn double play, but it doesn't cost him. Bonanza was on first for Sneck, who grounded out. So let's go top 2, and San Antonio crossing their fingers for a not repeat of Game 1. Although it's trending that way so far. Christy Abbott strikes out. Here is Haywood Dinkle. The red-hot Haywood Dinkle, 2-2. He is gone. Now here's Antonio. Stan Antonio, to be exact. The 0 to Antonio. Grounder to Bonanza on to Beauregard. And we are out of the top of the second. Only 1 hit for the Sloths. Bro, Stefano Jr. and Hamed are up. 3-2 from Daring. Check him up. And, yep, he did not swing. So Bro heads on down to first. He's DiStefano 1-0. Paulo DiStefano Jr. into center field. That's over John Camden's head. And DiStefano is going to get to second. Runner to third is Bro. And Hamed, the 1-1. Nas, the second on to first. Not going to try for home. 2-0 New Orleans. Runner on third for the center fielder, Geronimo, hitting .345 in these playoffs. He swings and misses for a strikeout. The 1-0 to Beauregard. This is sharply hit into the left, but that's a flyout. That had happened when he had bad before. It'd be 3-0, but it didn't. A ground out was the second out. So it's 2-0 still. 3-1 count to Roberto Khan, who might get some MVP votes if the Sloths win here. He doubles into the corner. Here's Matata, 3-2 Matata into right field. This game is tied. Akuna Matata Sialata.
428
2-2.
feet.
That was a hard-hit baseball. And now here's Camden. The first pitch to Camden. Bounce to short. Hard play for Bonanza. Got him. Barely. Here's Scott Poe, the 1-2. Striked out. Goodbye. Sit down. See you later, says Via Getty. Here is Mcdonald. Can Getty recover cleanly after the home run from Matata? The answer is yes. Bonanza to Beauregard again, but San Antonio gets 2 runs on a Matata slam. All right, here's Johnny times 2. He tripled back in the first inning, and he might double here. I don't think this is 3, it is 2. So he's got the hard part of the cycle done. He just needs a single and a homer. Here's J.R. Cook, who is white hot. Now from the last at bat of game 3, now to game 4, as that is a safe Johnny times 2. He's come across twice in this game. Cook now at double digits RBIs in the playoffs, and it's 3-2, and we're not done with the hits yet. Bonanza's got a single into left. Here is Sneck. 1-for-1, slithery Sneck. 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, however you want to say it. Third, second, first. That was the double play, and that is a strikeout of Barona in the inning. Now here's Getty again. This is Turtle, who grounds out. Now here's Abbott, 3-2 to Christy. Easy fly out towards right field, then DiStefano. Haywood Dinkle, see ya bye, says Getty, who works a clean inning in 1 and 2, works a clean 4, didn't work the clean 3rd. Bobby Daring, no clean innings. Paulo DiStefano Jr. strikes out, not having a good start to the postseason, as Daring goes high and hard on Hamed and whacks him. And now here's Geronimo. The 1-1 to Geronimo, third, second, first. San Antonio is loving that around the horn double play. Abbott and Khan and Dinkle again and again and again.
And here's your fun fact for the World Series. Both hit batters have immediately been erased on double plays.
Really?
Yep.
There's a trivia fact for you that may show up someplace sometime. San Antonio 0-for-2 strikes, or 0-for-1 rather, strikes out on an 0-for-2 pitch. Khan pops out to the catcher, and Matata into right is retired. We are halfway through this baseball game, and we are at 3-2 New Orleans. Here's Beauregard, 2-for-2, dive and stop at third, but it's not enough. That's a double if Abbott doesn't get the leather on it. Here's the 0-0 to Johnny times 2. This is into center. It's gone. Johnny times 2 is a single away from a cycle in the World Series. What else does the season have?
Anyone know the only MLB player to have a cycle in the World Series? Anyone know?
No.
Where's my Sam at?
5-2. 5-2 the score. Fly out from Cook. Bonanza to first. Bobby Daring giving up 5 earned runs here. And now Sneck into left field. That is a single. And here is Bro, the catcher. Dude, Manbro's in, so they chase away Daring. After 4 2/3, Sneck steals second. Here's Manbro, and that is cracked into the corner by the catcher, Bro. This is going to be 6-2. Oh, boy.
Sam got it. It is Brock Holt.
Of course it is. I had a weird feeling by the way you said that you knew who it was, and it was somebody you were a fan of. 6-2 the score after 5. Top of the 6th now. Via Getty still working. This is huge for New Orleans. Getty needs... Look, you're winning this game, but you're at a point where it almost doesn't matter as Getty gets through another inning. You need Getty to get through the 7th clean. Then Nakamura can close it out, and you are in better shape than San Antonio does for Game 5. Instead of does. Hamed is going to double. Here is Geronimo. The nothing to him. Flown out into center. Will this advance Nas? No. And here's Beauregard to face Manbro. 1-1. And that is a clunk. Here's Johnny times 2. The 1-2. Not a double play this time, Danny, but it's a line out. Here's J.R. Cook. 3-2. Cook right in front of the right fielder. This is going to be a run. 7-2 New Orleans. The Rougarous are in Karugaru's control. 2-2 to Bonanza. He strikes out.
And the bigger that lead run gets, I mean, the bigger a leash they can give their starter here. Let him just keep rolling.
Let's go to the 7th. Second pitch of that inning is Tomato Turtle single. And now here's Abbott. Nope, here's Tommy Mezarowski. The rookie is in. And he immediately steps in, gets a double play. Mezarowski gets the ball. This is your first playoff appearance. It's in the World Series. You get a double play and a strikeout. Mezarowski paying dividends right away. And now we are bottom 7. Manbro still throwing, and Slithery next strikes out. Here is Bro. This is down to third, on to first for the out. Here's DiStefano, 2-1 to short to first. That's the end of the inning. San Antonio needs 5 runs in 2 innings. They only got 6 outs to juggle. But this is going to help the start. San Antonio double into left field. Here is Khan and Matata. This is your next 2. The 1-2 to Khan. He gone. Mezarowski gives up a double, but comes back and gets a strikeout. Here is Matata now, back up the middle. That should make it 7. No, they hold Antonio. Maybe the catcher playing a factor here. Here's the 0-1 to Camden, sprayed into left. Will Antonio go? Yes, yep. That's a run for San Antonio. Yes, made it. 7-3. Here's the 2-1 to Poe. Bouncer to first. That's an easy play. You'll take that 100 times out of 100 if you're Beauregard. Bottom of the 8th. Here we go.
Need someone to reach so that Johnny can get an at-bat, and he will get an at-bat.
Now, provided there's no double play, here's Hamed. 2-2 to Geronimo. Strike him out. Here's Beauregard. All we need to see a Johnny times 2 at bat is no double play. And there's no double play because San Antonio doesn't turn those from short. Here's the 0-0. Stolen to second base is safe. Beauregard. Here's times 2, the 1-0. Johnny times 2. Can he beat it out?
Oh.
Nope. No cycle for you, my friend. No cycle for you. Very close. Very, very close.
Tragic.
But hey, maybe you'll take the win. Mezarowski strikes out. This is absolutely massive. Not only did Viagetti do well, Tommy Mezarowski has been fantastic in this game.
We can't all be as good as Brock Holt.
Just not getting blown up is really what's been fantastic. Tomato Turtle, let alone just giving up a run and pitching well. Turtle's on first. Abbott strikes out. Here's Dinkle. The last hope is Jackson DeMarco comes in, gets the out, and the New Orleans Rougarous have a 3-1 lead in the World Series. 7-3, your final in Game 4. J.R. Cook, 3 RBIs and 3 hits. Only 2 batters with multiple hits for San Antone. That's Matata, who had the homer, and Turtle, who had a pair of hits. Let's head down, look at the pitching. Bobby Darin got the loss. 4 2/3, 6 earned runs. This is Bobby Daring's stat line in the World Series in 2 starts. 12 runs, 10 earned, less than 9 innings pitched. That is not what you want out of Bobby Daring, and something he'll be looking back on in the offseason with curiosity. Viagetti, though, 6 innings, 2 earned. Tommy Mezarowski might be a series saver for New Orleans. 2 2/3. DeMarco as well getting that final out. 3 innings out of a bullpen, guys that if you're New Orleans, you never wanted to have to pitch, if you're honest with yourself. San Antonio, Manbro and Greer, they have to use again. Johnny times 2 is your player of the game. Nearly hit for the cycle in the World Series.
Yeah, well deserved there.
All clear from Sloths. Unless the game is doing something dumb and Rayner isn't starting, then it should be Rayner.
Finish the day up. And yep, Rayner is starting. Coco Mcqueen is starting. Rayner is rested.
Where's the thingy? I lost
Coco
it.
McQueen is rested.
Game 5, no changes.
Perfect. So I think we're all good here.
Okay, so now the big question. Which one of us gets the first elimination game?
I mean, you can take it if you want. I did 2 in a row if you want to do 2 in a row, but and then I guess I could do 6 and you could do a potential 7.
All right, so we'll all do this and then we split 6 and 7. That's fine by me.
Although I'm sure the Rougarous would like to get it done here, and then they'd be winning at home in their final home game.
Yep, at 2-3-2, and it's funny because Danny and I were talking about this before we started, and I said, I don't like 2-3-2. Because if the home team yanks one, if the road team, rather, the team with the disadvantage, yanks one of the first two on the road, home field is completely and utterly useless to a huge degree. And look where we're at. Coco Mcqueen, John Rader, your pitching matchup.
And
Lineups.
Is this the only head-to-head pitching matchup in which the Rougarous actually have the overall advantage?
I think so, coming into the day, yes, because Ryan Rose has been quite good, and I believe Daring was quite good in the regular season the one time they faced off. These two were 3-3 in the regular season. So this was supposed to be an even series anyway. There was a lot of money, there's a lot of mouths, there's a lot of talk on San Antonio like there has been since the end of the World Series last year. But New Orleans played them even.
Since we are headed into an elimination game here, I do have just a few fun facts left from Johnny Quest. Even though it's early in their career, it says, I don't know if how true it is it's early in their career, but, Stan Antonio. My dyslexia was getting me there. Even though it's early in their career, Stan Antonio has the best career postseason batting average and on-base percentage in the history of PBE. At least coming into this game. I haven't been paying super close attention to Stan Antonio's line in particular. But it looks like he's continued to do well with the 313 average. Ryan Rose's longevity will pay off as they will tie and possibly break the postseason record for games started. Rose will pitch Game 3 to tie the record. I guess I should have said that before Game 3. And if we get to Game 6, he will pitch Game 6 and break the postseason record for games started.
But the question is, will we get to Game 6?
Indeed. It should also be noted, Slim Dugan has been a stopper for the Sloths this postseason. Throwing 8 innings, he had not allowed a single run over 3 games in their postseason, up to this series. And our final fun fact is the rookie Haywood Dinkle. He feasted on the Raptors in the previous series, batting .350 with 3 home runs.
And I'd say for a rookie on the game's biggest stage, he's done quite well.
Yeah, I believe he's played in 2 of the games so far.
3 actually.
Okay.
Because he's played math. Yeah, 3.
Platoons are weird. We don't usually see him in the PBE.
Because he's played all 3 San Antonio losses. Sandberg has played in the 1 win because, that's what I was just going to point out, was coming into this game, the hope for New Orleans is to carry your confidence forward and win the game. The hope for San Antonio is going, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, we're losing. We lost 2 games on the road. We're down 3-1, but we beat a lefty in Game 2. We beat a lefty here, and we go home. And we're one of the best home teams in baseball. So there is still a clear path for San Antonio to win.
For sure.
Deeper than just winning 3 games.
Although it should be said this season, actually, the Sloths had 1 more win on the road than they did at home. I believe they had 37 on the road and 36 at home.
Well, when you win nearly 80 games, you're going to be good either way.
For sure.
All right. Are you ready for Game 5? Are we all ready for Game 5? Wait, did we do a bet? I actually didn't look at Twitch.
I think somebody said let mods bet, so I assume a bet went up. I did not see what it was.
3-1 NOLA is the series, yes.
Either way, I'll let you take it away.
I didn't see any bets, so we're just going to go ahead and go here into game number 5. Coco Mcqueen gets things started against San Antonio, who pops out. Now here's John Camden, the 3-2 Camden into right field. This is deep, and it is gone. John Camden's 433 feet. Hey, didn't he hit a homer to start game 2?
I believe it was, 2-run shot after San Antonio reached.
I feel like I've seen this movie before. Here's Scott Poe hitting third. The 0-2 from McQueen, and Poe will go into center field. This is a double. And now here comes Mcdonald with a runner on second base. Here is the 1-2 to McDonald. Struck him out. Here's Sandberg. 1-0 to Sandberg into center field. Caught easily, so it's only the home run. The double doesn't come back to bite McQueen. And that 8 playoff ERA is starting to look ugly. Here's John Rayner pitching now for San Antonio as Beauregard flies out. 2-1 to Johnny ×2, who's just lit his bat on fire. He's got a single. Here's the 2-2 to J.R. Cook, another on-fire bat who bounces into a double play. So San Antonio stays away from the middle of the order, and we are in Game 5, and somebody has still scored in the first in every game in a series that was supposed to be dominated by pitching.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can count that one as the cycle, although Johnny ×2 did get the single there.
Was that gone? No, that's a double. It cleared the wall. Maybe a home run for a second there. Matata just doubles, though. Here's Roberto Khan, and that is a wild pitch. Rowe couldn't sprawl. Here's the 3-1 from McQueen. This is deep into center field from Khan. That's going to score a run. Coco Mcqueen is getting lit up like a Christmas tree with a lot of hard contact. 1-2, Abbott into center field. More hard contact and more hard catches for Geronimo, who's making his money's worth out there in center field. Here's the 3-run to Bonanza, and Rayner walks him. So Bonanza stands on first base. Here's Sneck hitting .290, pulled to third, 5-4. They didn't finish the 5-4-3 this time, the one time I was ready for it. Here's Sneck on first base. Here's Christopher Burrow, the catcher. He's going to fly out to right. Kind of surprised we didn't see the Sneal come on that first pitch. 2-2 to DiStefano. He strikes out. So the lefty starter continues to plague New Orleans as McQueen walks San Antonio. Here's Camden, who's homered twice off McQueen in the series. But there's a 5-4-3 double play just on the New Orleans side of things. 3-2 to Scott Poe, ring him up. So McQueen settles down finally in the third, 2-0. Only one hit given up by John Rayner, although he's now given up his second walk. There's Hamed on first for Geronimo. 1-2, strike him out. Punch your ticket back to the dugout. Here's Beauregard, who punched his in the first at-bat. Flies out into left field. And here's Johnny ×2, and is not going to get on ×2 so far in this game. Let's go to the fourth. 2-0 Sloth. Trying to stay alive in Game 5. Nice diving stop by Richie Bonanza. Here's Robert Sandberg into left field. Good catch by Johnny ×2. The 3-1 to Turtle. This is into left field, into the corner. Is Turtle going to get 2? Yes. Tomato Turtle will indeed sneak 2. Here's the 1-2 to Matata. This is a floater. Bonanza gets back in time. New Orleans was quite lazy getting that one in, not thinking the DH was going to grab another base. Didn't come back to bite him, though. J.R. Cook, a swing and a miss, 0-2. On the day, here's Bonanza. Been a batting bonanza for Richie Bonanza. 2-1. This is absolutely smoked into the left field corner. This is going to be a double. Here's Slithery Sneck. New Orleans needs a run bad. They get Sneck on first, so it's Sneck and Bonanza first and second for the catcher, Christopher Burrow. The 2-2 into center field. I would think this moves Bonanza over. No, they don't. A lot of conservative base running. 2-2 to DiStefano, who strikes out. And I said you might want to move Bonanza over because DiStefano hasn't been very good. And if you get anything, it might be a weak single. You see on the pitches there, on the pitch tracker there, Rayner just pounded the bottom of the zone and got DiStefano out. Taking advantage of one of the younger players' plate vision there, Roberto Khan goes down. Abbott goes down the same, struck him out. Coco Mcqueen still going. Here's San Antonio, the top of the order. That has been trouble, and Antonio makes it more. More runs, more trouble. 3-0.
And I mean, that's what happens on a 3-0 count. If you don't just walk him, you lay in a cookie and it goes yard.
And you look at pitch tracks, that's exactly what McQueen did. Absolutely piped right down the middle. Here's Camden, who's going to fly out into right. So New Orleans gives up another run. And this is finally, if you're San Antonio, you're saying, finally, we're getting the pitching we want. And New Orleans, you're saying, no, where did the hitting go? Hamed into left. Here's Geronimo into center field. That's caught easily. And here's Beauregard, the 2-1 into center field. This is back towards the wall. This is, oh, it's caught! John Camden may have just robbed a home run. Here's Poe, Mcdonald, and Sandberg. And Poe is going to ground out. What will Mcdonald do? The shortstop on the 2-2, 0 for 2 today. Flies out to first to make it 0 for 3. Here's Robert Sandberg, the 1-0. Bouncer to short. On to first base. That's easy. Bottom 6 we go. New Orleans has a gigantic donut in the runs column. Johnny ×2 cracks this into center. He is still hitting the baseball. He is now 2 for 3 today. Here's J.R. Cook. They have hooked up a couple of times. They did in game 4, and Cook is going to not score Johnny ×2. They hold him there and throw on the brakes with Bonanza up. The 1-0 to Bonanza. This is into left field. Do you test Scott Poe? Yes, you do in the World Series, and you get a run. It's 3-1. Here is the slithery Sneck. The 0-1 to Sneck into center field. That is caught by John Camden. And now Cook's on first base for Bro, the catcher. 2-1 for a poor series having Christopher Bro, who's now under 200 in the playoffs. Batting average-wise, let's go top 7. New Orleans did claw one back, but they need to roll back to the top of that order sooner rather than later. Pleasance is in, so the day is done for McQueen. He gave up 3 in 6 innings of work. Pleasant shuts down the first 2, Turtle and Matata. Here's Khan, the 1-2. Right past the first baseman into right field. This is going to be a double. And again, New Orleans is slow to get it in. Will it hurt him this time? Here's 128 hitting Christy Abbott, who strikes out. Abbott has been a weak spot there at third. Unfortunate series for Abbott. DeStefano, Hamed, and Geronimo got to put something together and get back to the top of the order. DeStefano will ground out.
And you look at the Flames on 2, 3, and 4, and you just got to think if they can just get there.
Yeah, and here's Hamed gets on first. You need a hit out of either Geronimo or Beauregard. 3-1, and Geronimo gets on. Now, if you're Beauregard, just don't strike out. That's just, you don't want to strike out. And he does. It's hit into the double play, let 2, 3, 4 come up clean, or get on base. You one of the two strikes out there, and now ×2 is going to ground out. So now strategically, you're in a worse position for the 8th, and you didn't get a run. Top of the 8th for Antonio. Swing and a miss. So Pleasance gets Stan Antonio out. Now will he get Camden out? No, he's not. John Camden is gone. John Camden, the 2nd homer in the game, the 3rd homer on a day when a lefty has started. 1 in game 2, 2 in game 5. John Camden goes yard for the 2nd time today. And Pleasance gets Scott Poe into the corner. That is a double from the left fielder. And James Day is done for the submariner Jackson DeMarco. Mcdonald flies to center. Gonna hold Poe there. Here's Sandberg, 2-1. This is popped up. Easy catch for Bonanza. Ran out to the mound to get it. Waved DeMarco away. Bottom 8. The 3-1 to J.R. Cook into right field. Swung on it and flew it out. Here's Bonanza, 3-2. Struck him out. Now, if you're San Antonio, you feel much better, even with Nolan Windsor pitching tired. Because none of the bottom of this order has been as good in the last 3 games as the top 4. Slithery Sneck flies out to left. 1 inning left to go for San Antonio to stay alive in Game 5. The 2-1 to Turtle, who might add to the lead, and he does. A home run from Tomato Turtle, the 4th of the postseason. It's 5-1 San Antonio. I think they got here on 5 solo shots.
Yeah,
Or is
that
it
one
4?
380 feet, the last one 377 feet. So I mean, they're not killing the ball, but they're just getting it just enough.
They're just whipping it out, just kind of poking it off at a short porch there. 0-2 to Khan, strikes out. Matata's on first with a walk. Here's Abbott. Abbott, the 1-0, they're going to steal with Matata, who is safe. The right fielder grabs the first stolen base of somebody not named John Camden. Did Abbott just go out of the... Okay, Geronimo caught it, even though it just looked like it bounced off the wall, but whatever. Antonio strikes out. I was very confused for a second. So it's going to be 6, 7, 8 up. Here's the 0-for-3 bro. 3-2, struck out looking. Ouch. Here's Esteban Rodriguez Jr. And by the way, to try and shut it down. Here's DiStefano Jr. 0-2. Struck out looking again. You got to get the bats off your shoulders, boys, is what you're saying to the New Orleans dugout. In San Antonio's dugout, you're saying, good job. 3-2 to Hamed, and that's a walk.
No one's swinging at anything.
Geronimo has to keep this going. 3-1, that's a walk. Okay, Beauregard, get on base, and San Antonio's nervous. Here's the 1-0. Beauregard is going to fly out to left. What a catch from Scott Poe in the pocket. Sliding to end the game.
Yeah,
so San Antonio wins game 5, 5-1. Solo after solo after solo after solo after solo home run. Couple of those for John Camden. That's where his 2 RBIs came from. No, Khan didn't homer. So actually, it was only 4 solo home runs.
Yeah, San Antonio, Camden.
Camden had a pair in Turtle.
Yep, well, there it is.
And on the New Orleans side of things, only 5 hits the entire game.
And
they got 5 hit.
That's the momentum that San Antonio wants to be bringing back to Texas with them.
Yep, and now you're going back home. Here's Rayner, 6 innings, 1 earned. I'll get through these really quick.
Yep.
Rodriguez to hold, Greer the save, only a third of an inning. Coco Mcqueen got the loss, but 6 innings, 3 earned is not a bad start. It's just a bad start to that start is what cost New Orleans the game. Pleasance 1 1/3, DeMarco 1 2/3, so they did save the bullpen mostly. Go ahead, Danny.
I was just going to say down a pair of games, but with the home field advantage and coming off such a strong outing, the Sloths just need to take the off day and, stick within themselves, do what they did this game. Well, meanwhile, the Rougarous are going to want to take the off day, the travel day, and get their heads right, get ready to just put the best product they can out there and win a baseball game.
No changes for the Rougarous with McDougal starting. Let me get the attention of the Sloths. And by the way, at the conclusion of the game, I will have at least Eldorian here with voice. The GM of the Rougarous has agreed to join us. One of the GMs has agreed to join us, and I will be holding him to that. And I believe a statement is coming from San Antonio. So stick around after the game. You don't want to miss postgame, as San Antonio is good to go, and so am I. So, Danny, I should say so are you in a question form. And if you are, I think, Danny, we can go to game 6.
Yep, yeah, we got Ryan Rose taking on Aiden McDougal in a 3-2 series here. I mean, the Rougarous just need to get out of here with a win. They were able to do it. They went 1-1 on the road the first time. If they can go 1-1 again, they'll have won themselves a championship. They do have that hill to climb. Ryan Rose the 80 overall against McDougal the 64, but they've done it before. You can see the Flames have kind of evened out over the course of this series. For a while it was on New Orleans side, but now it's just Cook and Bonanza with the Flames, while Roberto Khan and Acuna Matata have picked up Flames for the Sloths. Although Christy Abbott has been sinking, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And we are all out of fun facts, so I say we just head on in. Or I guess do we want to do a bet?
Oh, yeah.
No more predictions. Hummus is headed out, so.
No more predictions.
Here's my prediction, not for channel points or anything. My prediction is we're going to Game 7.
My prediction is we're not.
Okay, so you've got Nola taking the W right here.
Yep, I've got Nola with the W against the righty. And this is the record-breaking start for Ryan Rose.
Oh, yes, that's good. I'd totally forgotten. But yes, Ryan Rose will now set the record for games started as a pitcher in the postseason.
Congratulations, Mr. Rose, but I do believe that you're going to take a loss.
Well, only one way to find out. I'm going to hit start game.
Let's go.
Shoot, that is the game started in the postseason for a pitcher.
And he starts it off with a walk.
He does. He starts it off with a walk, but comes right back to strike out Johnny ×2, who's the dangerous hitter. But here's the hot-hitting J.R. Cook, and he'll fly that into center. Casual stroll out there. That's all he needed to catch that, as well have a stolen base attempt here. A stolen base success. Feet first he went. Bonanza now with the runner in scoring position. He'll strike out. So a stolen base ended up pretty moot here as Ryan Rose gets through an inning. It'll be Camden against McDougal now, and Camden hits that softly. McDougal covers, flips it over to first. Bang, bang play, but he gets the out. Scott Poe off the bat into the center infield, caught by the shortstop. Here's McDougal, and a strikeout. So a 1-2-3 inning for McDougal, who is making a face. He is making a face. Yep, I have been keeping the series score in the upper right of the Twitch stream. As Bro strikes out here, so 2 outs now for Ryan Rose. He's got to face down DiStefano, and that looked like it was a little inside there, almost hit him, and he'll walk on 4 balls. Naz Hamed will have to wait for the stolen base attempt, another feet first slide, and another safe runner. And this time a walk for Hamed on 5 pitches. It's like a low ball there. And then he walks Geronimo on 4 pitches. So Beauregard will get the bat off his shoulder, but he will strike out on the 2-1 count, leaving the juices based as Turtle steps in and hits this into center field. That's a single. There goes the no-hitter of McDougal. Christy Abbott now, and that's into right field. Lined, but he laid out for it and caught it. Great play there by the right fielder, Stefano Jr. And a double play here off the bat of Haywood Dinkle. Not what he was looking to do here, as we remain scoreless through 2. Johnny ×2 in now. He'll strike out looking on a full count. J.R. Cook. He'll hit that into right field. Should be caught, and it is. Bonanza in now, 353 batting it left-handed, and that's, not going to be a single. So one right fielder laid out, the other right fielder laid out. Matata did not want to be outdone, and he gets the catch there to keep the no-hit intact for Ryan Rose. Meanwhile, McDougal is going to walk Stan Antonio. He's going to send this one into center. It'll be caught. Caught, not able to reach. Here's Matata. Big defensive play. Can he make a big offensive play? He is out, but he does advance the runner into scoring position, but Camden will strike out and make that pretty moot. Here is Slithery Snakin. That's into center field. Caught. Both pitchers absolutely dealing. Here's Bro. Into left field. This one should fall. It will. He might try for 2. No, he'll head back. DiStefano Jr., who's been probably the worst hitter in the postseason for the Rougarous, will try to get on here, and it'll be caught in deep right field. Naz Hamed in now. And they had a little hit and run going. But they beat him to first base. As both teams do have a hit now. And Scott Poe, first baseman, will take that to the back himself. Here's Mcdonald. Another ground out there, that time of the shortstop variety, and that's a loud sound off the bat into deep left field, and it's gone. 425 feet. I didn't think it had the distance, but Turtle proved me, and I'm sure plenty of others wrong. He went yard. He put up the first run of the game in the bottom of the 4th. Sometimes that first pitch is the best one to swing at. He went down and got it. It looked like it was low, but it's not low anymore. It's in the seats. And Christy Abbott will ground out to end the inning, but the first run of the game is on the board. Here's Geronimo into right field, caught 2 times through the lineup. New Orleans has amassed just 1 hit. Beauregard will take a walk. Johnny times 2 hasn't reached yet this game. He'll hope to do so here, as it looks like that's a wild pitch maybe that lets Beauregard advance. Full count now. On the ground to first. He will get out, but he does get that runner over to third. A wild pitch will score him. Check swing, and it's a walk. Here's Bonanza, hot hitting with a runner in scoring position at third base. But they'll ground out to the second baseman. Puts it over to first for the 4-3 putout. And now Haywood Dinkle, he hit into that double play before. We'll have another opportunity. And hits another double play ball. No one ahead of him to get out, though, so it'll just be a ground out, as this one's hit yard as well. Two runs now, both on solo shots. This one coming off Stan Antonio's bat. 424 feet went that one into kind of center left there. Fell in the bullpen. I hope nobody was warming up. Probably just got plunked. As Khan will step in and take a walk. Here's Matata. Into right field. The right fielder's going back on the warning track. This one will be caught, leaving Khan at first base, but there's another chance here to move him. So a fielder's choice there will get the out and retire the side, but another one put on the board. And New Orleans is still trying to find their second hit, let alone their second run. That one's in the air in left field, fly out. Burrow will send this one to center. Caught. DeStefano. 3 flyouts now for the Rougarous as Ryan Rose continues to deal. He's through 6 innings now, and not showing any signs of trouble. As Scott Poe strikes out, here's McDonald. McDonald strikes out. Turtle, can he get the side? No, that'll be hit on the ground to short. But he won't be too mad he couldn't strike out the side, as he retires the side without any issue. Naz Hamed. He'll strike out. And Slim Dugan is pitching now. So that'll do it for Ryan Rose. 6 scoreless innings, gave up 1 hit. Slim Dugan picks up another strikeout. And here's Beauregard. This one might fall. No, the second baseman's able to get back on it. So New Orleans has now played 7 frames without getting more than the single hit. Here's Christy Abbott, and that's a good sound in the left field gap. He's going to round first, head for second. Maybe think about 3. He's going for 3, and the ball's on the ground. It looks like he's safe. Abbott has a 3-bagger. And an easy scoring opportunity here for Haywood Dinkle. That's pretty shallow, though. Not deep enough. But that's only the first out, so Stan Antonio just needs to go a little deeper. He might have gone even deeper. He went 393 feet and cleared the wall. He was not thinking sac fly like I was. He was thinking, let's get 2. And the run has now doubled to 4. And I think we're going to 7 games. I don't know about Mike, but I think we're going to 7. Here's Roberto Khan, strikeout. Acuna Matata now, he'll get that into left field to reach on a single. Here's Camden, but first we'll have the stolen base attempt and the stolen base success of Matata. And look, they now have 4 flames going on the San Antonio box here. You can see they're coming alive, and this could be the momentum shift that'll see them through the World Series. As Scott Poe beats that ball out. Bases are now juiced for McDonald, and that one's hit deep into right field. Oh, and it's bobbled! He didn't catch it. He'll get an error that allows a run to score. Or 2 runs to score, I guess, because there were 2 outs. Wow, you don't see those outfield errors too often. I don't know if he was getting heckled or what happened there, but he drops the ball. Johnny times 2 now. Hopefully he can clear his head with his at-bat, but instead he'll pop out to center field. J.R. Cook on the ground. That's an out. Here's Bonanza, and he'll strike out. So San Antonio has another opportunity to pad their lead here after putting up 4 in that last frame. Christy Abbott That's in the gap. He'll round the bag. Might be headed for 3. No. Stand-up double. Haywood Dinkle with a runner in scoring position. Good enough to get him to third with 1 out, so sac fly opportunity here, but I don't think he's thinking sac fly either. I think, again, we're going to have a 2-run shot. 399 feet. Stan Antonio, the catcher, batting over 300.
Yeah, well, you need to win a Game 6. How about your MVP front runner just have 3 home runs in a World Series game?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, why not? Maybe.
All according to plan. I'm sure Droso is thrilled. I'm sure Stan is thrilled. Even though Matata strikes out there. I'm sorry, Khan strikes out there. Matata hits into deep left field, and that's another home run! What is happening? 396 feet. Home run number 4 for Hakuna Matata. I believe in the series. It's now a 9-0 ball game. And this best of 7, which became a best of 5, is about to become a best of 1. If they can retire Camden and even get to the bottom of the 9th, and they will. Oh, they have a mountain to climb. Mount Everest is staring them down. They need 9 runs here to stay alive. And then they have to deal with them batting in the bottom of the 9th. As this one's hit into right field. And caught. Bro. Strikeout. So 1 out. 9 runs to get. Stefano Jr. is going to need to start off one heck of a rally if they're going to stay in this one, and he'll strike out. We're going to Game 7, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to Game 7. As these sloths mosh the mound. And boy, I mean, what is there even to say here? You can look at the New Orleans batting line and great job, bro. You had the hit. The only
hit. Literally, the hit.
Compared to the 1-0-10 hits of San Antonio, and then we'll talk about the home runs here. Matata with the home run. Stan Antonio with the 3 next to his name, no big deal. And Turtle added his name to the home run hat. So Stan Antonio alone had more home runs in that game than the rest of the players combined.
There is no manager alive that would have an associate walk up to them and go, "Hey, there was a guy on the other team that had more homers than we had hits," and that manager wouldn't go, "Oh." Problem.
Indeed. So despite the 9-0 ball game there, Ryan Rose will get the win, and Dugan will take the save because he came out, I guess, in the top of the 7th. Both pitchers getting 5 strikeouts. Ryan Rose was given the free pass, 6 walks, but when you only give up 1 hit, I'm not going to argue. Meanwhile, Mcdonald gave up 2 runs in his 6 innings, which isn't a bad start, but after Barker and Mezarowski fell apart, that game was on ice. And Stan Antonio sets the PBE playoff game record for home runs with 3. It doesn't really surprise me.
I had a feeling that was coming.
Yeah. Wow. That's one to write home about. I think I know who's getting the game ball from this game.
Yeah, I do too.
And some happy fans with some souvenirs, because they are back at home now. And Game 7.
By the way, go to San Antonio roster, or pitching staff actually, and Rayner middle relief use less often. So starter 3, mid relief use less often, at the behest of Juosu.
Middle relief use less often. Does he have a secondary?
Middle relief use less often. No.
Okay. And do the Rougarous want to make a change? No changes. Game 7. Getty starting. So let's make sure it should be. Oops, I just clicked on that. I didn't change anything though.
You still have their bullpen up, Danny?
I do.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back and make sure I didn't accidentally just change something there.
And Duosu has confirmed.
Do I need to? I think I need to change this to a 2-man rotation, don't I?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know what happens there if you don't. So it should be Bobby Daring starting, right? Bobby Daring and Getty.
Yes.
And we've got Getty and Daring. Yep. All right. Perfect. I'm seeing a lot of yeses from Druoso. We appreciate it because we definitely don't want to have any crazy sim issues in the deciding game of the World Series. Each team played 108 games, but at the end of the day, this is the only game all season that really matters.
I'm going to give New Orleans another check. I know I do have the message, but I want to just make insanity sure. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about how the Rougarous had the Flames all night. They were hot hitting and they were showing it. But something happened. Something changed. It's just Richie Bonanza and J.R. Cook now with the Flames. Meanwhile, Turtle, Stan Antonio, and Acuna Matata are all on fire. Christy Abbott holding on to that cold streak, but has still been able to come through for the Sloths when needed.
I said for game number 1, Danny, I said strap it in. This is going to be an exciting series.
And you may remember I said just before Game 6 that we were going to 7. Real quick, shout out to Dub City gifting some subs out. We got Gold, Rankle, Cobb, Diet Coco, and Cola Fox all now subscribers. Thank you, Dub City.
Oh, thank you, Dub City. Hype in the chat for Dub, please. And 112 viewers for Game 7.
He's bringing the hype here for the New Orleans Rougarous. Duck is cheering on the Foxes. So that's good.
Well,
Evox now gifting 5 subs. Casey Phillip, Netlandic, Sorian Taylor, Tiger Fan, and Jar is a bear. Sorian Tyler, excuse me.
Thank you. Yeesh.
I don't know who Jar is a bear is, but I hope he creates if he hasn't already, and is drafted to the Brew City Bears. And it just keeps going. Now Dark Takuno is going to gift 5 subs. Garrett, Night Mick, Jess Turtles, Kid Carsey, and number 1.
Schoolboy Shoe!
Schoolboy Shoe! Lucky number 13 Magic. Colderis, the CDB, Leah, Red Arrow, Dr. C,
Miss
and Miss
Obvious 5! And now
Gucci.
we're officially on a hype train because we have 25 subs in the last 6 seconds.
That's Gucci Necklace, KGN.
Balrog RPG, thank you.
Random Task, Prex Tip, I can't say names, Exorus, Josuo, K-Tune, PlayZDMG, PBE, Buster Olney. Thank you, Balrog, for gifting those subs. Thank you, Miss Obvious, for gifting those subs. As we have some Game 7
subs.
hype. And 118 viewers in the chat. We love each and every one of you.
Make sure we don't miss subs because I'm going to go into the game and I'm not leaving.
Yep. Yeah, I think we're good with the hype train. I'm going to let you...
Is the hype train over? All right.
Give the people what they want.
And the people want Game 7. We started the series out with a New Orleans win on the road. And then we got to Game 2, and San Antonio took it back and evened it up. Then New Orleans took Games 3 and 4 with some stellar performances on the road. But San Antonio has clawed back Game 5 and 6 on bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. And the New Orleans Bats have gone like the end of Mardi Gras and snuck out into the night, and I did jump the hype train.
Darkudo goes again. Nomad, Big Unit Bab, Maddie, the Newson one, Keeper Kyle. Welcome to the sub train, courtesy of Dark Takuno.
I think AJ has unlimited monies.
I guess
real
so.
life.
It does seem that way.
So anyway, look, here we are at Game 7. We're in San Antonio, the place where everybody thought that this season would end when it started, but more like the celebration would be there, not necessarily a Game 7 of the World Series. New Orleans is your team. I said they were the 15 Cubs, not the 16 Cubs. They're a year too early. They've proven that they are not. Whatever happens in this baseball game, this has been a fantastic series, a fantastic season, and neither team should go home hanging heads. And especially if you are New Orleans, you are not that far removed from expansion, and you are already in a World Series. So, Jumosu, Eldorian, Bo Sox, Phillies fan, shake hands and let's have a good fight. And here we go for Game 7.
And Miss Obvious, Josh, and Balrog, thank you for your subs. Take us away.
In Game 7, you do not win the battle. In Game 7, you win the whole damn thing. As Beauregard flies out to Poe in left field to start, Bobby Daring dealing the 1-2. There's a strikeout of Johnny ×2. Daring has been lit up. in each of his first 2 starts in this series, he is the arm that gets to feel the baseball in its grasp a 3rd time as J.R. Cook grounds out. Camden, Poe, and Mcdonald. The 3-0 from Viagetti to John Camden's a walk. Here is Scott Poe. The 0-1 to Poe. Second, short, first, got him, double play. Here is McDonald. 2-2 to Bobby McDonald, lazy flyout. So the first game, all series, we don't have a score in the first inning is Game 7. Daring's 0-1 to Richie Bonanza's into left field, and what a catch from Scott Poe. Stop the double. Slithery Sneck goes down on strikes from Bobby Daring. Here's Christopher Bro, the catcher, hitting under 200. Now you get into Bro, DiStefano, who have not hit well, and that's an out. Catcher is a slow man. Walking down to first base. Turtle, Abbott, Dinkle. 2-2 to Turtle, who had a homer last time. In the last game, he strikes out. Here's Abbott, who had a triple. And I believe that was the first World Series hit for Abbott, certainly first extra base hit. And Abbott strikes out. Viagetti has 2 strikeouts already. The 0-1 to Haywood Dinkle. Dinkle pops up, so the rookie will not get on. We went from everyone scores in the first 2 innings to no one has a hit in the first 2 innings. DiStefano, Hamed, and Geronimo. 2-2 to DiStefano, short bobbled. Bobby McDonald botched it. There's an error. Here's Hamed, the 3-2. Hit and run is on, so they will get the runner over to second base. The 1-0 to Geronimo. Pass ball. New Orleans got a runner on third. Daring looks in, gets the sign on 3-run. Geronimo pulls to first base. Tap on the bag. Beauregard's got to get on, and he does. Here's Johnny times 2. Here's the 1-0, times 2 to short. Easy 1 to second. Khan dropped to a knee to smother the ball if he dropped it. Keep his foot on the bag. Still no hits for New Orleans. Here's Stan Antonio into right field. That is caught. Roberto Khan, the 0-2. Struck him out. Matata, the 9-hole. 2-0. Second to first, we have no hits each first time through the order in a bat-dominated series. All of a sudden, the switch comes on for Game 7. San Antonio has no base runners, but we're going to get a hit from J.R. Cook. That's a double into right center field.
And there goes the no-hitter. In the 4th.
Here comes Bonanza, third to first, clean play. Abbott to Dinkle. Now's the 1-0 to Sneck into right field. That is caught, not going to advance Cook. Here's the catcher. The switch hitter, Bro, that is by. Short to third. Throw to the plate is not in time. It's 1-0 New Orleans. Bro on first base. DiStefano walks. And here is Hamed hitting .350 out of the hole 8. 1-2 count. That is a great catch from Scott Poe in left field to save a run.
He's putting on a clinic out there in how to play left field.
0-2 to John Camden. Short on to first. Bonanza to Beauregard. Here's the 3-2 to Poe, and the perfect game is gone for Getty.
Thank you for the sub, Emmy.
Bobby McDonald ends the no. Oh, no, he didn't catch it, actually. Thought Johnny times 2 might have gotten that. But here's 1-2, and now the bases are loaded for Abbott, who has been terrible this World Series. 3-2 to Abbott, struck him out on a full count, and here is the rookie Dinkle. The 1-2, Dinkle to short to Bonanza. They go to second and get the out. San Antonio loads the bases with 1 away and gets nothing.
I can't read all that, but shout out to Evok for gifting 14 subs.
Oh my God. Geronimo flies out to the left. What did you just say?
14.
1-0 Beauregard. Second to first. Oh, and that's a bobbled. Haywood Dinkle missed the ball. Beauregard standing on second base. San Antonio's in shock. There's 2 errors in the first 5 innings. There's J.R. Cook, the 1-2. Luckily, it don't bite him because New Orleans is still cold. Antonio, Khan, and Matata The 1-0 to San Antonio, who grounds out. And now here's Roberto Khan. The 0-1 to Khan. That is smoked, and that is a double into the right center gap. This might be a triple if they can't get it in. Is it a triple? No! Great relay throw from J.R. Cook. Bagged him at third. And now Matata lines out. And we go to the 6th, and each side has 2 hits. The difference is in the errors. 3-2, daring to Bonanza. That's a single. Here's Slithery Sneck. 2-2. Sneck into center field. This is going to get caught by John Camden. And now Bro will step to the plate, hitting 205. This is back up the middle. Camden again. And here's DiStefano Jr. 2-2. Struck him out. Nolan Windsor gets out of it. Bobby Daring throws 5 2/3. Bobby Daring did what he could. If the defense couldn't help him, then that's on them. But 5 2/3 and 1 earned is just darn fine. John Camden flies out to center field as Getty is throwing with purpose. Scott Poe lines out into left. Johnny ×2 says, I'll see ya. A Hall of Fame catch and raise you one. And Bobby McDonald says, I'll see you run and match you, son. 1-1.
1-1, 3 hits apiece. These teams have gone to Game 7, and they are evenly matched. Wow.
Getty still in the game for Turtle, who gets a single past third. Here's Abbott hitting 5th. The 2-1 to Abbott, lofted off into left field. We are going to the 7th. Somebody might be 9 outs away, or maybe we're going to extras.
I'm feeling the extras.
Hamed Geronimo and Beauregard up. Hamed will fly to Camden. Geronimo, the 0-2, strikes out to Windsor. Windsor has given up a run in every postseason appearance except for Game 6. Beauregard bounces out. So ×2 Cook Bonanza hit the 8th. Hitting the 7th is Dinkle, Antonio, and Khan. Did Dinkle just go yard? No, he didn't. He goes off the wall. Double for Haywood Dinkle off of Ed Barker.
Leadoff.
This is why Ed Barker is here. Ed Barker is here for this specific instance in this specific game. A guy with championship pedigree. Will it pay off? Antonio's out on a ground out. Khan strikes out. Here's the 1-2 to Matata. 3rd, 1st. We're going to the 8th. Tied in Game 7 of the World Series. Johnny ×2 steps to the plate against Windsor, and it's over the head. Over the head of the second baseman. It's mistimed by Khan.
They do call it a base hit.
To J.R. Cook. They do call it a hit. Cook and Scott Poe again. Here's the 0-0 to Bonanza. They're going to steal. He's out.
Someone get Scott Poe another Gold Glove.
Johnny ×2 is out at second base. Bonanza is out at first. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. I don't know if 3 half frames is going to be enough. John Camden grounds out. Here is Scott Poe, who's putting on a clinic in left, but is 0 for 3 at the plate. Here's Bobby McDonald, who's got the homer and then now has a strikeout. Ed Barker throws 2 clean innings. We are going to the 9th, tied. Here's the 1-2 as Esteban Rodriguez Jr., the rookie, steps in to pitch. Slithery Sneck strikes out. Here's Christopher Bro. The 0-2 to him. Checked him up and got him out. Didn't matter, he checked. Here's DiStefano. The 0-2 struck him out.
Struck out the side. The rookie struck out the side.
Any run wins the World Series. Every child's dream is what Turtle, Abbott, and Dinkle can do right now. The 1-1 to Turtle into center. That is caught. The 1-2 to Abbott. Pleasance in the ballgame. He struck out. Here's the rookie. Haywood Dinkle, the left-handed rookie. The 0-1 to Haywood Dinkle into right field. That might be a double. No, he's going to... Oh, no, they hit the cut.
Back-to-back doubles.
Oh, my God, New Orleans, why did you hit the cutoff? The 1-0 to San Antonio, that's pass ball. A single win San Antonio World Series. The 2-0 to Stan. Back to the pitcher and on to first. We're going to extras for the 3rd time in the series.
And of course we are.
Why not? Here's Hamed, Geronimo, and Beauregard, and Hamed lines out. Here is Geronimo, first. Tap on the bag. Here's Beauregard, nothing. And that's going to be bobbled by Mcdonald. He mishandles it again. That's a runner on for Johnny ×2. The 1-1 to ×2 is off into right center field, caught easily by Camden. We're going to the bottom of the 10th. Esteban Rodriguez Jr. has thrown 3 innings and only given up 1 hit in Game 7 of the World Series.
The Swifties rookies are killing it.
Pleasance is here, and Roberto Khan strikes out. Acuna Matata, the 1-2 from Pleasance, delivered to Matata, got him out. John Camden, you don't want to see Scott Poe in this inning. You do not want that. 3-2, John Camden, Cook on to Beauregard. We're going to the 11th. In Game 7 of the World Series, Esteban Rodriguez Jr. is going to give up his only 2nd hit in 3 innings of work, and that's got to be it. He has done everything he has needed to do. Now here's Dude Manbro. Richie Bonanza to right. It's gone!
But it's
Richie
not over
Bonanza
yet.
just hit a 2-run homer.
421 feet.
Dude Manbro's walk off into retirement may be giving up a World Series. Slithery Sneck short on to first. San Antonio fans here in the treehouse are shocked. Throw gets a single. Here's DiStefano. 2-2, strikes out. Here's the 2-2 to Hamed. This is into center field, caught by Camden. Poe, Mcdonald, Turtle. Antonio is at 7. We need to get 2 hits to get San Antonio to the plate. Pleasance will try and shut it down, and Scott Poe's out. 2 outs to go. 0-2 to Mcdonald. Weak 1 to Cook. On to Beauregard. 1 out to go. The 0-1 to Turtle, the DH. Hit into right field. Into the glove of DiStefano Jr. The New Orleans Rougarous have won the first World Series in franchise history here in season 23.
I mean, this is their first postseason. They won their first postseason game, series, World Series game, and now their first World Series championship.
Congratulations to the New Orleans Rougarous. That is the first World Series, and there is going to be some champagne throwing, or champagne popping and beads throwing in New Orleans tonight.
I do want to say, in case anybody is joining us who doesn't actually know what the PBE is, I'm going to give a quick breakdown here. Every player you see in this game, Beauregard ×2, Cook, Bonanza, these are all real people. Every real person who's in the game controls just one character to fill out a team, to fill out the league of 14 major league teams and now 10 minor league teams. If this is something that's interesting to you and you might like to have a player of your own, you can just scroll down on the Twitch stream and click that big Pro Baseball Experience logo. Log in, sign up, join our rookie Discord, and the mentors will be happy to help you get set up.
Yeah, we got 140 people in here. I would think there might be somebody new.
And we would love to have you. I mean, this is... I only joined this community myself probably 4 or 5 months ago, and it's been one of the greatest things I ever did. So hope to see some of you in Rookie Discord here soon.
Legitimately same. All right, let's look at it. The final box score of the year. Gustav Beauregard ends the year with a hit. Johnny ×2 with 1 as well. 2 strikeouts there for him. J.R. Cook, 2 hits and 2 runs. Richie Bonanza, the 2-run shot to send New Orleans to Titletown. Slithery Sneck went 0 for 5. Bro, 2 for 5. DiStefano, Hamed, and Geronimo. Only DiStefano reached base. But Naz Hamed still had a very good series. On the San Antonio side of things, John Camden and Scott Poe both 0 for 4, but reached on a walk. Bobby Mcdonald hit a solo to tie things up in the 6th off Getty. He got another hit in the game. Tomato Turtle got 1. Abbott had none. Haywood Dinkle, the rookie, hit .327 in the playoffs with 3 homers and 4 RBIs. San Antonio, Roberto Khan, and Matata combined only reached once. Antonio hit so much better in the series out of the second slot, or the top slot rather, in that lineup. Biaghetti did the only thing you can ask him to do. 6 innings, 1 earned run, gave it to Ed Barker, who was signed for just this reason. And James Pleasance gets the win in the 3-inning save, a lockdown postseason, a .71 ERA. Bobby Daring did everything he could and left it out there. 98 pitches, 5 1/3, Windsor an inning and 2/3, just 1 hit. Esteban Rodriguez Jr., the rookie, is going to get the loss because he was responsible for the runner on first when Dude Manbro gave up the homer. But Rodriguez should be applauded. 3 innings pitched in a Game 7 of the World Series, and Dude Manbro, in what will be the final time we see him on a PBE field, gives up the game-winning home run. And yes, indeed, we do have the winning general manager in here with us right now from down on the field. J.R. Cook, Eldorian, please come join us. You got the headset on there. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, man.
All right. Well, congratulations. This is World Series #1 for you, for J.R. Cook. You have been absolutely fantastic. For those who don't know who you are, you aren't the Juosu or the person, man, the most famous GM in the world. You have a very interesting story in this league.
Sure.
And I would say anyway.
Yeah, well, so I got drafted by New Orleans when they were an expansion team, right? And KC 15 and Phillies fan built this team, created this team. KC stepped down 2 seasons ago, and I came on as a co-GM with Phillies fan 2 seasons ago. And KC and Phillies built this team from the ground up with the intention of creating a dynasty. And we're hoping this is the start of it here. What KC and Phillies has built in our locker room has been fantastic. We have a great bunch of people that are all doing great things and updating every week and just being incredible teammates. And we just built, we're hoping this is the beginning of something here. This isn't definitely not the end. And we weren't fully expecting to be in the World Series right now. But the fact that we got there and we won is incredible, to say the least. And I don't think we're at our peak yet.
No, that's the interesting and worrying thing for the rest of the league is no, you're not. But I do have to say, not only did you slay the giant, I said, will the prince be the prince no more, or will the queen continue the reign? And the prince is no longer the prince, at least for now. You can claim yourself as the king. But going forward, you are now the gold standard, I would say, at least to my knowledge, for recency purposes. You are now the gold standard for an expansion team. So how does that feel? I know you didn't build it from the ground like you said, but how does that feel to be a part of, and as one of the GMs for even a couple of years, a big part of possibly the new gold standard?
I think it feels pretty great. Like I said, KC and Phillies had a vision, and I think the other expansion teams, both Kashima and Indy, I think are trying to follow that vision as well. And building up a team from the beginning, taking those losses to start off with, but building a great locker room full of people, and just making sure that, like what we did was built defense first, and then built on our offense from there. And just trying to better yourself every season from there. Like once you get everybody to the tip top there, you're all coming up together. And I think it's a great model to follow. And I think in 4 or 5 seasons we're going to see Indy and Kashima in the same place we are.
Now, to the actual team part of this, and this is something you can claim at least some kind of credit for because this was when you were here. Ed Barker is in this bullpen. This is the final time that Ed Barker, one of the better pitchers in the league and in 5 seasons ago, 6 seasons ago now, had one of the best seasons by any pitcher ever. Ed Barker ends his career as a Rougarou and ends with another ring and ends in your bullpen. I've said this is the reason Ed Barker got signed. Is this what you envisioned when the pen hit the paper?
Yeah, there were 2 things that we envisioned, and this was definitely one of them. The other one is he had some goals set in mind as well. He wanted to hit the 2,000 strikeouts in his career. He was able to hit that in our bullpen. He was able to hit 150 wins in his career in our bullpen. And he got another ring. And he did fantastic for us. He's a real big reason on why our entire bullpen, not just Barker, is a big reason why we're where we're at. Like, if I could have given anybody an MVP beyond Bonanza there, it would have been our bullpen.
So you personally, your player J.R. Cook, 10 hits in this series, 7 RBIs, a .313 batting average, a OPS of just about 900. Eldorian, if I remember, Mr. J.R. Cook is a 9th round pick.
That's correct.
I do believe.
Season 17, 9th round. I lost count of how many times I got passed over. But, here I am.
And
I have the strikeout record in the season, as Paul Rob pointed out.
And J.R. Cook is a story for those of you who might be hanging out in this chat who have your majors draft coming up in a week, or have your majors draft or coming up in a season, or if you're going to create now, it'll still be a season, I think, but nobody gets drafted in the 9th round anymore.
No,
we have too many teams for that.
Yeah, you also have to remember that we drafted differently then too. Now you have a full season to kind of see how a player goes before someone gets drafted in the majors. When that happened with me, to be honest, I had just joined the league and I had not done anything yet because it was around Valentine's Day, and my work is very structured around Valentine's Day. So I was not active those first few days, so I didn't get scouted very well. And New Orleans took a flyer on me when no one else did.
And that flyer now wins a World Series as a cornerstone of a franchise. And if for those of you who get drafted now, like a lower pick is the 3rd or 4th round in the majors, if you get drafted there, this is your poster child. This is your Brady. This is your, just because you get drafted low doesn't mean you can't be something. You can look to J.R. Cook. This is so fantastic for the league that not only you as a person help run this team, but also, win a World Series with your own players. So congratulations, my friend. Anything else you want to say?
I think the biggest thing is I just want to give a big shout out to San Antonio. They had an incredible season. They run that team extremely well. We thought we could go toe to toe with them, and we did. And but that was a very exciting series all the way through, and they did an incredible job, and they'll maybe we'll see them again next season.
And by the way, in your and I's own private conversations before this series, I said, how do you think you're going to do? And you said, well, I think we got a shot. We're 3-3 in the regular season. Well, guess what?
Yep.
You were 3-3 heading into the best of 1 in this series.
Yep.
And now you win the season series and the whole thing 4-3. Congratulations,
Yep.
Eldorian. And thank you so much for joining, unless Danny has something.
No, that's all I got, man. Thank you for joining us, and
thanks for having
great
me.
series out there.
Thanks, guys.
Eldorian, co-general manager of the Rougarous, J.R. Cook, the fantastic player. We do have, it is very late in Europe, and we couldn't get any sloths, couldn't get Bo Sox back on like we had last year in the semis. So we have a statement from Juosu Thank you very much for preparing this. Josu says, and I quote, want to first congratulate NOLA, their GMs especially, but also all of their players. They have built a great team and have really embraced the slow build for an expansion team, which I appreciate. They have gotten scary for a few years, and it paid off this year. I know they will be great for a few seasons now, so it is likely that we will see them again one day. Want to say thank you to all of my players. They played their hearts out, and we battled back in Game 7. In the end, we missed too many chances. Losing 2 games in extra innings hurts, especially having so many chances at it, but it just wasn't going our way. In the end, NOLA won the series deservedly. They played amazing and crushed it, and much as it hurts, hats off to NOLA, and congratulations. We will be back next year to try again. Go Sloths. And that is the important part, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back next year to try again. Go Sloths.
I think there's a good chance next year that the series could be identical.
There is a very good chance that this will be identical.
And it always stinks to lose, but I mean, you just played a World Series where you went to Game 7. Almost half of the games went into extra innings. That there's no regrets, I should hope, for this loss. I mean, they played amazing. I think a couple bounces go in a different direction, and this could have very easily gone the opposite direction.
I do not think it is a far reach that New Orleans, San Antonio 2 will happen at some point. All right, let's put a bow on it. Danny, last year you and I put a bow on the minor season and gave things off for the World Series, but this year we get to put a bow on the whole thing. Season 23 is over. The Dillos are your minors champions. The Rougarous are your majors champions. Now it's time for the stressful part. Now it's time for the off season. I'm entering my second as a co. You get to enter your first as an expansion GM in the minors. I would say good luck to you, but I don't want you to have good luck. I want me to have good luck, and I know you want the same. Everybody, season 23 is done. The March that began as March that has turned into November is now at its close. We have a new contender to a dynasty. Will New Orleans continue next year? We will find out. Until award season and spring training, and for me, probably next regular season, unless you're around for the rookie showcase, hint, hint.
Yes, indeed.
I am Leatherneck Mike, and I will sign off and bid you, as they would say in New Orleans, au revoir.
I do want to say you can't really see it because of my overlay, but I'm highlighting Richie Bonanza for a reason. He did get the series MVP, that's shortstop Ricky Bonanza. He went 28 at-bats, got 10 hits, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, batted .357. Just hit the hell out of the ball. So want to give him a shout-out as part of my sign-off. And I look forward to seeing you all in the coming weeks. We got the minors draft, the majors draft, the rookie showcase, awards all coming up. So hope to see you there. And if it's all right with you, Mike, I think we're going to close it out with your video. Just play it again. Let the hype live on.
Well, I didn't really have one for the season to be over, but okay, I guess.
It's good enough. We're just going to show it again in case anyone missed it. And then we'll be out. So enjoy.
The March to November starts in March. 14 teams with a new hope. On the way, some will rise, others will fall. Over the months that roll on, there are last rides and new beginnings. And then we go down to 6. Inevitably, those that break hearts.
And a drop third strike, they're going to put him on!
Winning run at the plate!
And Jay Doctor, a home run! The dropped third strike comes back to bite the Scorpions.
They wind up broken themselves.
And the 5, the 4, the 3 to advance to the World Series. The Sloths, the dominant win.
The postseason is pressure, and pressure makes diamonds.
Upon the 10th, Khan up now. For San Antonio, he hits a hard one over the left field line, and that's gone. Roberto Khan just won the World Series for San Antonio on the walk-off home run.
Now, only 2 teams stand in each other's way of eternal glory. Will San Antonio continue to swing? Or will New Orleans do this again, but this time for the big prize? The end of the March The end of Season 23 starts now.
And there you have it. One last congratulations to the Sloths. I'm going to start the upload. Mike might already be gone, but I'll probably be muted for most of it. You're welcome to stick around and watch, although it's not the most exciting thing in the world. Looks good. I just checked that. This one looks good. So thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you here again soon. And that's all we got. The index is updated. The Rougarous take title, their first one, and I look forward to seeing you guys for the start of season 24. With that, we are fully out. Take care. Have a good night.